Welcome everyone to another session of Crituitous RP. Thanks for joining us this week. Look, no window, new location. Almost got everything sorted. Fingers crossed next week I will be back to normal. In the meantime, welcome everyone to another fascinating adventure and dungeon delve into the deadliest of dungeons. Before we get started, we'd like to thank our newest family members, our newest followers on Twitch. Those are Sabotaurus, Hidden You for Fun, and Brandon 3005. So thank you very much for you three for following us. Everyone else, if you're watching us and you haven't followed us, follow us. And if you have followed us, share us with your friends so that they can follow us and they can share us with their friends. It's multi-level marketing. Get us in front of everyone, please. We love to see that follower count skyrocket. We'd also like to see our YouTube channel that hosts all of our videos live and our backlog of episodes to please also subscribe to there to let us know that you're watching and that you like the stuff that we do. Comment, talk to us, let us know, give us feedback, and we will obviously improve according to your desires. So we would like to jump right in to the adventure today. Our heroes, well, most of our heroes, plus Dandy, had been exploring through the levels of the dungeon. They encountered a danger of a dangerous creature at the bottom of a long waterfall and realized just how big this tomb is. So then they flew right back up and continued to explore level by level. As they've reached now the second level, they have received a second warning plaque. And I will go through those once again. The ring is a path to another tomb. The dead abhor sunlight. Only a jewel can tame the frog. Bow as the dead god intoned. Into darkness descend. Our heroes ended the last session as they got to a crossroads right in front of a tomb that didn't look like a normal tomb that the nine gods should have been a part of. This crossroads included a ring that was super confusing and messed everyone up, but gist of it is the ring transported them to another tomb, a demi-plane version almost, as those on the real tomb couldn't see those on the second tomb and vice versa. So our party just all moved into the secondary tomb and began to explore. Where are you going to go first? Obviously, the tomb looks identical to the one you've just left, except no Devlin, no satyr. By the way, who has the satyr's goat staff? Tower?
Yeah,
okay.
Tower's holding it.
I'm assuming you haven't attuned to it yet? No. Okay, cool. All right.
I wasn't going to. We kind of assumed that maybe it'll be fitting for somebody else who we haven't met yet.
Maybe.
Our future travels would be more fitting.
Okay. Then what would you guys like to do? Let me move you to the map so that you're on the actual correct level.
Zola, you said that room ahead of us had a strange thing in the ceiling.
Aye. You talking about the stone trap?
Is that what it was?
There was a block that seemed to be a trap that if you trip the trap, the block was going to come down and either crush you or seal you in or out of that checker floored room.
Is that in this parallel tomb? Is that still the case, do you think?
There's only one way to know that for sure, and that is to go check it out. So I'll do that. Nobody go in front of me.
With your new passive perception, You can easily see it before you even get close to it. It is the last block in the corridor before moving into the checkered floor. Directly above it is that stone block.
Okay, and I assume, well, I shouldn't assume. Is there a way that I can see whether or not the trigger for the trap is a magical contraption or if it is a physical contraption?
Would you like to roll a perception check? I will take your passive of 21 as minimum.
Okay.
But just in case you rolled better than that.
I did. I rolled a 23.
Okay. So you look at it. There is a very thin gap between the stone block and the ceiling above you. Just large enough that you might be able to fit pitons into it and hammer them in to lodge this thing in place. But unfortunately, there's no sort of indication from where you can see of the actual trigger mechanism. So it's either hidden from your view or not actually there.
Okay, I'll turn back around. Well, there is a way that I could see us potentially bypassing the trap, and that is to hammer like pins up in there to kind of catch it when it releases and have it hold itself with wedges. Does that make sense?
I know that I don't personally have those items on my in my sack. I think Grigori had a wealth of such items, but I do not.
I'm gonna rifle around.
We did have climbing gear each. I have my own climbing gear.
Oh yeah, I got some too.
This could be that the climbing gear. I imagine we've got spikes and stuff on them that we could possibly adapt to be wedges.
Yep.
Alternatively, I don't see any pressure plates or anything, so it might be a magical sort of cause and effect. You could try to dispel it too. I'm not sure if that would work, but maybe one of you arcanists can figure out if that's a possibility.
Perhaps we should take a look at the rest of the chamber on the right. It's hard to do an accent when you're chewing. Sorry.
While you guys are discussing this and thinking about what to do, you hear footsteps, kind of quick-paced, coming from the west, coming from the staircase.
Guys, danger, danger, guys. There's footsteps. And Pijo's going to go the other direction a little bit.
I'll move to the front.
I'll get at the ceiling.
Okay.
Take out my bow and arrow.
We're tag team blocking the way.
Okay. Matthew, your character. As we've discussed previously, the situations that you have in this moment, the last thing you've just encountered is the last thing that you're running away from is a failed attempt to get past this door that's down here, the white door. What you know about that white door is whenever a person comes within 5 feet of the door, the clear plaster or cement that is on the door itself disappears from view, and a whole horde of undead reach through to try and grab at you. And you've been unable to get past the door without being caught by the undead as of yet. And so you're coming back the other way, and you can hear talking going on up in the corner. Someone else is in the tomb.
And I come around on this side, I guess.
Yep.
Well, if I hear them talking, they probably hear me go clunk, 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 but I'm actually going to stop before I go around the corner and just keep listening.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Why start with such terrible ideas? Sweet.
Okay. And you're
7.
wearing heavy armor, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So you actually have disadvantage on stealth checks. So what's the actual result?
Oh, it's a 1. It's a 2 total.
Okay. All right. You all hear the clunk, clunk, clunk of heavy armor, and then it suddenly stops. rustles a little bit as if being pressed up against stone. It's right on the corner. What do you guys do?
Hark! I hear something afoot in the other chamber.
Show yourself, creature.
I'm gonna ready an action. If somebody comes out, I'm gonna attack it.
Well, that seems very aggressive.
Unfortunately, you don't see the thing that comes to investigate you, since Zola is invisible at the time. Zola, as you poke your head around, you can see this guy leant up against the wall, listening in, with a blade ready to go. I'm going to move him to the token layer so we can all see the wonder that is Captain. And I'm going to call you Captain. I know that your nickname is actually Laszlo, but you're Captain to me. So, okay. Captain, tell us a little bit about yourself, Captain.
What do you want to know about the Captain?
Tell me everything you can tell anybody about yourself. Your appearance, your history, what you're doing here, and what the party see when they first meet Captain.
Well, what Zola would see is a human who is darker of skin. He has some tattoos under his eyes right there. He has 2 huge gashes across his face. He is wearing full plate armor and a tower shield. It's not a normal shield. It goes from the ground up to about his shoulders. And he has a long sword. And he is a Rashami, if you happen to know about the different sub-races in Faerun. I do not know if you want me to give my entire backstory or
no, you don't need to. It's just a glimpse into the vision that is. He
is clearly someone who has fought in numerous battles. He carries himself as someone comfortable in armor, and the scars testify to his experience in battle. And he looks haggard and somewhat tired at the moment, very concerned. And that is what one would see in looking at the glorious visage of the Captain.
So, what do you do, Zola, when you see this individual?
I'm going to stay real close to the ceiling so he can't hit me with whatever he has. I'm going to say, you don't look like part of the tomb. Are you a part of this place?
Do I know where that voice is coming from?
Above.
Yeah, above you.
So kick out the foot of the shield a little bit and bring it back so I have a little lean-to here that I can get under. Hello?
Hi. I'll appear.
That you have not attacked me immediately is surprising.
Why? I'm not a part of this tomb either.
That seems unlikely. The Tomb of Horrors is a dreaded place that no one exits.
Well, yeah, but there are plenty of entities inside. So I could forgive you for thinking that I might be one of them.
There are plenty of people that would enter as well.
Well, there. Oh. Who is that?
That's Tower.
Who are you?
That's Averine.
You talk funny.
I'm Zola.
Is he wearing anything shiny?
I talk perfectly normally. You are the ones who all have a strange accent.
Type in the chat what you think about his accent is, by the way. Let me know what you think. Yes, Pedro, he is wearing something very shiny.
Though somewhat marked at this point, somewhat more beaten up. It was clearly shinier in the past.
So are you a part of it?
Can I roll an insight check on the voices, whether they're like threatening or not?
You can point your bear around the corner.
This group of individuals don't look threatening, but go ahead and roll an insight check.
We can hear you, you know.
Insulted.
I don't know if you heard about Tower's left pectoral, but it is a magnificent accomplishment.
Indeed, indeed. I'll tell you what. Mysterious voice from the ceiling.
I've appeared.
That did not help things. I bunch up behind the shield, ready to go. Get back, foul demon!
Now, it's worth noting, and I would like to put this out as a little extra. This is the first time you've seen a Yuan-Ti abomination. But, yep.
Yuan-Ti or not, this is surely a creature of great evil that must be destroyed.
No. You can't destroy her. She's very friendly.
Did you actually cast Hideous Laughter on him?
No, that was never
Okay.
the actual.
Just checking.
You need line of sight.
Sorry.
I'll start descending onto his shield slowly, like coiling my fingertips around it and then poking my head up, and it's like, I'm not gonna hurt you.
I take some steps back. How about this? How about you and the others go down that hallway, and then I will come around the corner, and then we can talk at a reasonable distance.
But then we'd have to shout, and then we'd alert everything in this tomb exactly where we are.
Reasonable can be 10 to 15 feet. You do not have to be a mile away, but far enough away that you cannot, say, touch me without me first attacking you.
Sure.
If that is what makes you feel safe.
We are in the Tomb of Horrors. Nothing makes me feel safe. Other hallway. You, whatever you are.
Yuan-Ti.
And then he actually comes around the corner with the shield up and like shoves a little bit. Pedro, like back it up. Like,
Excuse me. No, that's not polite. And I'm gonna just like flap up awkwardly in the sky. Oh, not in the sky, above him.
And perhaps he would like to see a pretty face.
You're doing fine. You're already there.
Rounding. Okay, so I see a Yuan-Ti that I've never seen before. I see an Aarakocra that I've never seen before. I see a Firebog that I've never seen before. A Fearbog. Can I see Averin or Shago? The only normal people in the group.
You can see Dandy.
Dandy.
You can see Dandy, and you can see Averin just behind Dandy. Yes. You can't see Carmen from that angle.
Right. Okay. Plant shield, quick breather, ready to go. Who are you?
I'm Zola. This is Piju. That's Averin. That's Tower.
And the old fellow there?
That is Dandy, and that is Carmen.
Okay. Perhaps I should clarify. What are you?
I'm an Aarakocra. She's a Yuan-Ti. That's a human. That's a half-elf. That's a blue thing. And that is the lifeless husk of a friend
Pijo,
of
I am a furball. You've been traveling with me for how long?
You're a furball.
Yes.
I don't know, but he's blue, and he's very nice.
And you say you have been in this tomb? You entered this tomb? Recently?
Yeah.
In the last hour. That's about right, technically.
2 hours, maybe.
2 hours.
Flame Skull has reformed since we've been here.
And
Maybe.
how did you get here? I'm certain I would have not. I'm certain I would have known if.
We walked through the front
Excuse me,
door.
such strange and rare individuals were found wandering around the lands outside this tomb.
Hold up. She's going to just pop her head round the corner and be like, who are you calling strange? You're here on your own. And why are you asking all of us the questions?
Well,
What's your story?
I should not. I I got separated. I should not be here alone. I have a large and powerful group of individuals.
Large, powerful group. Yeah, we've already dealt with some of those. So where are your large and powerful group?
Well, the last thing I recall for certain. What do you know about this tomb?
No. We're asking questions for you now. This is fun.
Are you Yellow Banner?
I do not want to.
Are you Yellow Banner?
Yellow.
This is a question.
Yeah, my Yellow Banner. What is Yellow Banner?
The Yellow Banner group. There
No.
are dead ones that we have found and dead ones that we found outside.
What is a Yellow Banner?
Okay, he's not. Let's not waste time then.
It's like a flag that you hang, and it's the color yellow.
Usually yellow.
No, usually groups may only use red.
Captain, you got separated from your party.
Right.
And one of the reasons why you've been separated by your party is when you entered the tomb, you solved the riddle that was written on the cobblestone path, the red cobblestone path that winded its way down the 100-foot-long corridor, at the end of which was a clouded portal. The portal had a grey shimmering cloud within it, and as one of your party approached it, he had the ingenious idea of touching certain stones in a very particular manner, like a combination lock. As he did so, he put in the combination lock, and it changed the shimmering light and mist of the portal to quite a nice, inviting blue hue. And trusting his own capabilities, he walked right through. A moment later, most of his body parts came back out, but not all of them. His body was just torn to pieces just behind the point. And so through a series of other portals similar to this within that corridor, and then suddenly appearing in another corridor, you slowly lost your party members through doorway after doorway after doorway, until eventually it was just you. And even the path you had come from behind seemed to just close off, and there was only one way for you to go forward. You jumped through the doorway, and this is where you ended up.
Yes, that is what happened.
Carmen's going to have a little guitar and go, pling, lonely, oh so lonely. And he's asking all the questions, and he's on his own. Aww.
We still haven't gotten your name.
Well, it could not hurt to share it fully. My name is Vladislav Ulmolkina. You may call me Laszlo. I was the captain of our intrepid little band.
Very good. Laszlo, we're trying to make our way out of this tomb. Would you like to come with?
You're trying to make your way out of the tomb?
Aye, we don't mean to stay here forever.
Well, if you are seeking the exit, you are more than welcome, but me and my compatriots entered understanding we would either die or kill what lies at the base of it all. So if you are seeking to leave, feel free, but I must press onward. That was what we mean by leave. The only way out is to destroy the machine. The machine? What machine? We intend to kill the Lich Aserarak. And the chances of that are much more meaningful being alone, as the good lady there with her little lute could sing along and say. But it is a sworn cause that I am compelled to follow through.
Aserarak has created a machine called the Soulmonger. It is...
Okay. What does that mean?
It is causing people to get sick. Anybody who has been resurrected or has died before. They are dying now, and all the souls are being, and anyone who does die in this period is being sucked into the machine. Their souls are not leaving the material plane.
And then once in the machine, we heard that their souls are being fed to some kind of godling thing.
Could be a Sarak himself. We are here to destroy the machine.
No one has been able to identify the Lich's phylactery. I was hoping that in the bottom of this tomb it might be there as well. Perhaps this machine is involved in that somehow.
Well, didn't that letter that the satyr had mention something about a phylactery or something?
To whom are you speaking, Birdman?
I just to everybody.
Pijo. Okay.
Nice to meet you, Laszlo. We both end in O.
What a happy coincidence.
I know. on the loop, there was a goat man, and he had a letter or a diary, and it mentioned that word, and it's the only other time I've heard that word. So I think it's probably connected, right?
I've not seen a goat man. After the passageway closed behind me, I have been searching in this area. It's been various hours, but I've not seen any goat man.
Oh, he was on the other loop. So we went in a loop, and then we went in a different loop while we were going through the same loop, and then there was a goat man on one loop, but the other loop, the one that we're on now, is the loop that doesn't have the goat man. So if we go
Let
back
me translate.
You sound much like my friend Offrin, the first one who stepped into a portal and came out with only parts of his body.
Hopefully not too much.
So I think what Piju means to say is that we stepped into a different tomb through a portal. There was the tomb that we were in, and then we stepped through a portal, and now it's this tomb.
And it looks exactly like the other tomb. It's just different.
So you did not come into this tomb?
No.
Yeah, in a manner of
Into a
speaking.
different tomb.
If you walk through the loop behind us, you will be transported to an identical looking tomb, but there is a satyr, and not a goat man, on the other side. The portal is at the top of the ring.
So how do you know it is a different tomb?
We walked through both ends and came together and passed each other through the gate and came and disappeared and came back.
The
round.
physics match up.
Yes.
What is my intelligence modifier? This is giving me a significant headache.
It would, since this is all new to you.
Well, how about this? Follow me, and we'll go walk around the circle.
No, that is okay. I will keep you in front of me.
So yeah, if you follow me, then I'll be in front of you.
Regardless, that direction is behind you, towards the entrance. I am more interested in going down below to find the Lich and to kill him.
The Lich is behind his tomb is guarded by keys, and we must find the keys on each one of these floors. You cannot go all the way down and get to him.
What do you mean it has keys? This tomb has no such keys.
It has keys.
It has keys.
It has keys. We can't just
keys that do not look like keys. They are disguised. It seems that we have a lot more information than you, my friend. It would be wise, and we have seemingly passed.
No, I have spent a great deal of time, along with many others, preparing for this, and you are speaking absolute nonsense. Things that do not exist. Things that scholars and spies and traitors and those who have information that is very reliable. Nothing that you are saying
Then
matches.
you are fairly welcome to walk to the bottom of the tomb into your death. You will maybe weaken the Lich.
I will tell you what. You are looking for a skeleton? Is that what you said? A skeleton?
We need a key.
The first key was on the head of a skeleton.
Okay. Well, there are a whole group of them over here. If you'd like to go kill some undead and see if that helps you, but again, if you wish to find a key, that is fine. That's the direction I am going. If you wish to find a key, perhaps it will be over there.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that you'd be prepared to take out a Sararak as you are right now? Do you really think you'd succeed alone?
Lonely.
Oh, I think it is very unlikely that all of us together could possibly survive such an encounter. But if-
there are more
if
of us
any-
here
if
than
any
you think
knowledge-
there are.
But
We've already defeated a lich in the last
there-
couple of days. Maybe not as powerful as Sarak, but we are capable. Your team has already been taken out by some simple traps.
I was actually getting at something, and that something is that there are more of us here than you can actually see.
are
Are
there
you
more of
familiar?
you who are invisible?
Are you familiar with the legend of the Nine Gods?
I will say, as a man of somewhat religious training, if not religious persuasion, that is nothing I have ever heard before.
Okay, well, you're in their tomb.
Oh, we are in the tomb of Sararak.
No, you're in the tomb of the Nine Gods built by a Sararak.
No, we are in the tomb of horrors built by a Sararak.
I've never heard it called the Tomb of Horrors. Look, there are sarcophagi littered about the place. Have you seen them?
No, there are no sarcophagi.
There's one over there. Like right over there.
I will take a look. That is the first time I have seen that room.
Okay, well, my point is that there are demigods that reside here in these tombs. And what we are also doing, in addition to gathering keys, is we're gathering them as well, because they are not happy with what a Sararak did to them. You are presently speaking to one of them. So,
Are you a snake
yes,
deity?
sort of. Yes, sort of. Jakuli?
I do not know this word. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
The Lord bless you.
Solar,
What is
hi.
good type?
Moa speaking. I think there's been a misunderstanding here.
What?
When the foul individual, Sararak, killed each of me and my compatriots and locked us within the tomb, he made mention of his other tomb in Thay.
Oh, whoa! For realsies?
For
You just
realsies.
you just see Zola stopping and staring at nothing for a second and going, Okay, all right. So
I think there might be a confusion here because he doesn't know about us, but we don't know about them.
okay, so Moa says that
Who is Moa?
he is the demigod of which I spoke, one of the Nine Gods, and he thinks he knows what's going on here. He thinks that we might be in Thay.
Of course you are in Thay.
Oh,
No, that's
Tomb is
impossible because we're in Omu.
we were in Omu. That portal took us to Thay.
Where is
Apparently, a
Omu?
Sararak has a second tomb in Thay.
What is Obalaka thinking about all of this? Because I'm
I want to go home.
For the DD non-initiated, what is they?
Where is
So-
that?
Thay is an empire far away that is predominantly known for its necromancy. There, it is perfectly okay and economically feasible to actually have all of your manual labor performed by the undead. It's just so much cheaper and easier that way.
Is it on the material? Is it-
Yes, it's on the material plane.
Okay.
Carmen have been there?
Pretty much every red wizard you've ever encountered, except for those in Luskin, and pretty much every lich you've encountered has usually come from Thay.
Right. Okay.
We were not in Fae, we were in Chult.
But now we
came
are in.
from Chult. This portal behind us must have transported us to an identical tomb.
All right, let's go back through the portal so we can get down to business. Laszlo, you coming with us? We're gonna kill
So-
Acererak. I promise.
So, thinking about the last couple of hours, if our goals are mutually inclined to go and kill Acererak, forward is the only way. If it be that direction or through the undead, this direction. So long as we arrive at the destination.
All right.
Okay.
Has everyone agreed? Should we go back through the portal?
No, I want to check out what the alternative of the sarcophagi that didn't belong to the Nine Gods was. I would like to see what's in that checkered room on this side.
Also, he mentioned there was a bunch of undead, and I know that plaque we read mentioned it, so maybe there's something here that we're missing that's here and there.
I generally prefer to kill the undead where they stand. There were too many to take alone, but perhaps together we could confront them.
What was above us, in the floor above? You said you entered the tomb. Did you explore the upper reaches?
So the
As
Tomb
I
of
told you,
Horrors.
I entered the tomb, and there were various traps and portals. And since I've exited the last portal, I've been on this area. And it looks a little different. I am no learned man, but the architectural differences, now that you mention it, seem to be a bit different, contrasting even.
On top of that, you know and understand that the Tomb of Horrors doesn't have stairs. Just it's one.
It should be mentioned, all that information I had, there should not be stairs in the Tomb of Horrors.
No multiple levels or anything, and everything's a lot duller. You remember everything being vibrant colors, reds, yellows, greens. Just everything was pretty eye-catching almost. Everything's dull here, boring.
Boring in the visual sense, but for those who seek adventure, there is a room of undead over here that I would very much like to kill with your assistance.
Obolaka?
Well, you know, I mean, we could, or we could not. You know.
Well, yeah, I know those are the choices.
You just need to be very careful. You can fly, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
don't fall when you fly, right?
I mean, unless I get hurt really badly and then I fall. But if I get hurt badly while I'm flying, we got other problems besides the fact that I'm falling.
Okay. Then, as long as you kind of stay as far away from the things, yeah, we should be good. Yeah.
All right. I got the okay from Obolaka, so if we want to go in there, we can, or we can go somewhere else.
Well, we don't need to go looking for fights. We've got a lot to do. We don't need to go looking for fights for no reason. We're here for one task. No offense, but I know you want to kill some undead, but we've got loads of things you can kill on our side. If
Right,
you want
but
to.
what I am saying is, I think we are on your side. The Tomb of Horrors does not have stairs.
Right. Okay.
There are stairs directly behind me.
What we are talking about is the other side of the ring. There is.
Yeah.
We are in an identical version.
Yeah.
Of this tomb. It has. either
Well,
trap-
if we are no longer in the Tomb of Horrors, my information is no longer reliable.
The
Well,
first
it sounds
sensible
like-
thing you said all day. Let's get going.
Okay. So where are you going? Are you going to go back into your tomb? Are you going to stay in this alternate tomb?
I think
And
Zola wanted to
explore.
investigate the sarcophagus.
Okay.
I wanted to see what I can see from here, if the top of the sarcophagus is appropriate or not.
Still doesn't look like an actual tomb.
Nope. Never mind, guys. Does it
Can I-
have a ray of
can I-
sunlight coming down from it?
Can Tower take a
Still,
look?
everything is identical as previously done, but and as identical as last time, doesn't have a 9 god on it.
Okay, yeah, this is totally identical to the last place.
Can Tower
No,
just
Tower,
take-
don't go forward!
No. He's aware. He was aware from the last one. He was next to you with the last one. He just wants to take a once over himself.
So, perception.
Yeah.
Same sort of deal. You've just got the sarcophagus in the center of the room, the 4 wine-filled gargoyle faces, and the single ray of light that shines down upon the sarcophagus. The single ray of light is coming from the ceiling, though there doesn't appear to be a hole in the ceiling. So the ray of light is definitely magical.
Can I cast Detect Magic? I'm using my Firbolg ability, and then just have another quick look around.
Okay. Let me pop open a radius of 30 feet around you so that I know what you trigger. So, as of right now, you sense magic.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Everyone behind you lights up.
Okay. Yeah, I know they got magic, but nothing in front of me is coming off magical. Not even the light that's going on the two.
Nothing appears to be, from your current position, nothing appears to be magical. The ray of light is shining down upon the sarcophagus from the upper right corner.
I have just cast Detect Magic Averine. I cannot see anything inside this room. I cannot see to the back of it, though.
And we don't know what would set off this trap above you, is that right?
No. I cannot see pressure. Like me and Zyda with a 1921 can't see pressure plates or anything.
No pressure plates at all.
And I cannot see any magical triggers from here.
Well, look, we kind of have a big arrow pointing to the sarcophagus. So I imagine that there's something related to the thing in the middle of the room and the thing that's right above you. If the thing in the middle of the room isn't one of the 9 gods, I don't know that it's worth messing with.
I agree. I am worried that this is camouflaged on purpose to make us choose. But let's see what else might be on this side of the ring. Maybe we can find another tomb.
Okay.
So you wish to continue exploring in this Devlinless tomb?
There may be alternate and significant changes on this side that may help us.
But this is the Tomb of Horrors.
No.
We're back on Tomb of 9 Gods.
No, we are in the Tomb of 9 Gods. The Tomb
Right.
of Horrors is a different tomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has been determined, and
It's confusing
perhaps
me.
I can clarify a little bit here. The Tomb of Horrors is in Thay. The
Yes.
Tomb of the 9 Gods is here.
Right.
Somehow, Captain got from the Tomb of Horrors to here. You guys are in an alternative version of the Tomb of the 9 Gods,
Right.
not
Right.
in the Tomb of Horrors in Thay.
Okay.
Okay.
Perhaps we should check upstairs again. Maybe there is differences to the upper floor in this alternate version.
Are the clues on the placard the same?
Clues on the placard are exactly the same. Do you go upstairs?
Should we go?
Sure, we can go check it out.
As you head upstairs, couple things, you notice a few things immediately off of you. As soon as you get up to that top of the spiral staircase, you look to the east. The skull face that had the shield jammed inside of it, no shield in there. Face is wide open and 2 candles are lit. You can even still see the blue hue being given off by the skull that's in the back of that chamber. You walk past, you look to the west, down the corridor that you had first entered. You see the green devil face at the end of the halfway down the corridor, and you can see the darkness still inside of its mouth. Beyond that, you can still see the crystal doorway, completely intact.
So it looks like the tomb before we set any traps off. Up there. Would you like to proceed to see?
Now, Captain, you've
Yes.
been exploring the upper level a little bit,
Da.
and you just came down the stairs, and this is the first time you've been on this level. You, for one, can share with the party that you've gone through and solved those traps 3 times each time, and they keep resetting.
It is wildly frustrating. It takes so much time.
And you said you didn't see any sarcophagi up there.
No.
Really? Do you know
Maybe
what a
it's like a test
sarcophagus
dungeon.
is?
A sarcophagus is a very fancy way to say a box for a dead body.
Okay, all right.
I am
Sure.
very familiar with dead bodies.
Might be language barriers. I don't know.
You all do speak very strange dialect, but being foreigners, I understand.
Well, thank you for that understanding.
Now, the fact that you look like a pitiable abomination from the bottom of the 9 hells, that is another issue.
You watch your mouth.
Excuse me, be nice.
Does
I
she
don't-
not?
I don't
Do-
like
do-
this tomb.
Can you look at her? I mean, this is simply an objective discussion. I did not mean to give offense, but
Well,
truly,
excuse me,
Clara,
Mr. Fleshbag with the cuts on his face. Just
No,
because
it's
she's
okay,
not all-
guys.
She sacrificed her legs to save us and make herself more aggressive so she could destroy this lich. You
So
should
be careful of
respect
that. My
sacrifice.
companion sacrificed his legs and the rest of himself too, and he did not get a tail. He just got dead.
I
Well, it
take
sounds
no
like one
offense.
of our-
It's fine. Don't worry
And
about
she
it.
was obviously not as wise as Zola.
Well, who is?
Me.
I don't like this tomb. Let's go back to the other one.
Okay.
So as a group, you all make your way back through the path, back to the ring. You loop around. You back where the goat man is positioned. Back in
See,
that version of the
strange
tomb.
old man. Look, goat satyr.
Told you so.
You believe us now?
I mean, I believed you once it was pointed out the issue regarding the stairs. That you did not want to confront the undead and see why a Serarak would have an alternate special dimension, perhaps to hold something invaluable that could be important to getting into the base of either the Tomb of Horrors or this tomb from your place, is beside me, but I'm not in a position to dictate now, am I?
Well, let's go see if they're still there. In this tomb. Lead the way.
So you head
Brave-
towards
brave
the-
slayer of
the
undead.
southern door.
He's
I
just making
stow my
faces at him
shield
behind his
upon my
and he goes
back
up
to
ahead.
give additional protection in the event someone tries to attack me from behind as I am in the front.
So you
Did you
head
say that
towards
out
the.
No, that was in
Probably.
my head.
With an accent.
With an accent.
As you guys approach that doorway on this level, obviously you can see the stairs wrap around to another floor below. But just like before, Captain, as you approach, the door seems to shimmer and shift, and a group of undead try to reach through and grab at anyone that might possibly be crossing that pathway.
Is this one down here?
Yep, that's the one.
He said it was within 5 feet, so about there.
Yep.
Tower. What do your furball eyes see?
In my purple varsity.
What's your passive perception?
19.
19. Okay. You notice from your current position, the wall over there isn't painted right. You know when an element within a cartoon or a video game is slightly off color? It means it can be interacted with, you know?
Is it a secret door?
It's a secret door. And Pijo, you can see a secret door.
I'm gonna like make eye contact with Tower since we both kind of noticed it. And be like,
There is a door over there. I do not know about this one. This is perhaps not a door, but a way to prevent us from passing by.
But
I'm
you're
going to use Divine Sense.
Okay.
Da.
Divine Sense allows you to detect the presence of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover.
Correct. Because I can kind of
Okay.
see a few there. I want to get a better idea of their forces through the use of that.
Okay. You currently see 3 undead creatures that are not behind total cover within 60 feet of you.
All right. Well, if we are going to travel together, perhaps this is a good opportunity to evaluate one another's skill sets.
Tower
real quick, I'm
Tower's
gonna-
going to cast Moonbeam directly in the middle of that doorway.
I'm rolling a knowledge religion just to see if I can identify what kind of guys these are.
In a way to
With advantage.
to like scold them if they try to enter and pull us out of the way.
Okay. So you're casting a moonbeam on the door where the zombies are clawing through?
Yeah, right onto the entrance. So it's right in the middle, in between the lot of them. And it's kind of encompassing the door.
Roll a perception check.
Perception check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oddly enough, the moonbeam is having little to no effect on this group of undead.
Is that an illusion?
Roll an investigation check.
Tower, I was asking about your furball eyes, since you have a knack for detecting magical things naturally.
You don't
Right.
think it's an illusion?
Huh?
You don't
Right.
think it's...
My detect magic still running? Sorry, that was a valid question. I was asked that.
Yes, your detect magic is still up, and you do sense a modicum of conjuration, I believe. Globe of invulnerability.
There is a level of protection on these things.
I shoot
Yeah.
a firebolt at it.
Just dissipates, no effect.
Okay. I'm gonna fly over to that hidden door and get a better look at it.
Okay. Looking at the door itself, quick investigation check to see how to open it up. Okay. It's a simple push and shove to open up the wall. It should slide into the wall next to it.
Yeah, I'll open it. I'm gonna take my shield out though.
As you open it, you see a small room. Within the small room, there is a single water basin. Water seems to fill it.
Hey Obalaka, is this your water? Is this that tasty water from your?
No,
Do you know whose water
No.
it is? Is it safe?
I don't know. I really don't think so. I think no.
Richard, what have you
probably
found?
not.
Guys, there's water here. If you're thirsty, last time I had water, it worked out really well. So if anybody wants something to drink, you can come on over
Don't
here.
drink it.
Well, why not? It's here. Oh, maybe that's why we shouldn't drink it. Okay, well, I can't promise you guys that you should drink it, but you could drink it. Is there anything else, or is it just the room?
Just seems to be a strange room. Though, what is your passive perception for noticing secret doors?
Oh, well, it's +5, right? For advantage.
Yeah, it's advantage.
22.
22. Okay. Same thing. Other side of the room.
There's another one?
There's another one. A secret door behind a secret door.
Oh, guys, there's a double secret door. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go. Okay. I'm going to very carefully fly through. keeping in the air, I'm going to fly above the water.
Okay.
Well,
But do
hang
you
on.
look at the water at least?
I'll
As
look
you
down
go
at the
past
water as I go over it, yeah.
Fiju,
As you look, yeah, go ahead, sorry.
we can't just like run past these grabby guys to come and save you if you're in trouble. It's just kind of like we gotta handle one thing at a time here.
Well, you can climb over them. You can go.
Can I? Could they jump and get me?
No, they're in the door. So you could go up the ceiling and...
Okay. Because I remember the
Yeah.
ceilings are 10 feet and they might be able to jump and grab. So.
Yeah, you'd be able to get around and you'd be fine yourself.
Okay. Just like.
But if you
"Ugh."
guys would rather I wait, I can wait. But it looks exciting, and Ovalaka hasn't explicitly told me, no, don't do this.
That Zola, as you were climbing above the undead, did it seem like there was a force that would not let you get any closer to them?
Can
You
I
could get-
can I test that boundary without being in their range?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get real close to them and they'll try to reach out to you.
Can they see
You'll
me?
have to pull back. Actually, you're invisible, so
Mhm.
no, they can't see you. So you can reach up right to the point of poking these zombies in the head.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna test the boundary of the thing to see if my hand slips through or what.
Doesn't seem to be any sort of physical boundary.
In my passage this way before I met you, this appears to be more something that keeps them at a certain distance and not something that would prevent us from entering.
If it is preventing my spell from affecting them.
Well, I
Looks like
suspect
it-
to affect.
It looks like it might be spells only. My hand goes right through.
Okay.
Can I test that by doing a can? I'm gonna still maintain the moon for a bit. Can I use a cantrip and not fire it directly at the zombies, but somewhere a space, a gap in between the zombies to see if it goes through again?
Goes through, hits stuff, has no effect on any zombies if it's there, but it does hit them.
So it goes through the gap.
It goes past through the gap, hits the bit of the door between them. It seems like these zombies, like looking at the situation, looks like these zombies appear to be immune to all of the damage you guys are presenting to them as of right now.
Can Carmen pick up any? Is there any rubble or any loose stones or anything on them? So she'll pick up the biggest one she can see and lob it at one of their heads.
You throw it, it'll knock against, it'll snap one of the bones. You'll hear it break, so you can deal damage.
Okay.
But then, and then it goes back to where it was.
Okay.
Keeps going.
Right.
Someone intellectually inclined roll an intelligence check.
Piju, you got this? So straight intelligence or a skill?
Straight intelligence check.
Straight intelligence.
Not bad.
23.
Tower's bad. Tower's not bad anymore.
Oh,
but-
Averin's got it.
Okay. The dead abhor sunlight. Maybe you should try sunlight.
But I don't think we have that. I don't know.
Do none of you have any way to produce any sunlight?
I
Oh,
thought about picking that
President
spell. and I
Station.
did not.
Wouldn't create sunlight.
Well, ish. Oh.
There's only one spell that can create sunlight.
Do any of you, perhaps, weirdly enough, have anything shiny on them? I'm thinking 2 things that are shiny would work. Maybe 3 if you wanted to be really safe.
Tower's gonna ignite his flame blade and see if that.
Doesn't work that way.
I have a mirror and I have a shiny. Or a sparkle.
How,
mirror and a
how
shine.
shiny is my armor and shields? A little beat
Quite
up.
shiny. And with prestidigitation, it could be even shinier.
Ooh, can we make it so shiny? I would be
His eyes
honored
just got
to
this
contribute to
big.
this increasing shininess.
Okay.
So, you can feel confident that these undead would not like sunlight. You have also seen a source of sunlight within the tomb.
Ah, yeah, got you. Averin.
When those mirror not traps, puzzles. Yeah. Legend of
I
Zelda
do not
style.
know what you are referring, Averin, regarding mirrors and shinies.
But perhaps we should. Can I do it? Perhaps we should, use the mirrors to the great effect. We've got a good source of sunlight in the next room along. If we can ensure the trap on the big block won't block the path, we should be able to get a good amount of sunlight over here.
So I guess we're gonna have to deal with that room and what it's got in it, whatever that is.
Perhaps.
I'm feeling like it might have something to do with the line, "Bow as the dead god intoned."
I thought it was intended.
Intended.
That's what
I thought it was
have
It
written
intoned.
down.
says intoned,
Oh, I wrote that
which
down wrong.
again is a weird word.
So would we hear the dead god bow?
It may be that.
Intoned, say or recite with little rise and fall of the pitch of the voice.
So you've got to bow to get in the room and stay low, I would say.
Possibly.
Like that,
It may also be related to the other room with the screaming demon face and all the noises. But
Okay.
it's probably one or the other.
If Tower can get close enough to that water, if I could get close enough to that water, I could manipulate it and create a mirror surface. Because I can use shape water to shape it and then spend the cantrip over and over again to move it in a direction so it can actually float. So I could create a mirror up the other end and not even into the room. We could push the thingy, but I can't get close enough to get the water out of the siphon. Is the basic stipulation. Well, actually, I say that.
The Aarakocra polished my shield before we fought with the Medusa.
You guys have lots of things that you can use to reflect the light that is the sunlight coming from that area. So you've got the stuff. It is a good idea that Tower presents to perhaps use the water to do it. That way you don't have to be in the room to reflect the light. Pijo, while they're figuring out bending water, you look at the water in the little basin. It begins to swirl. Images begin to flash in your view.
Ooh, there's pictures.
Slowly but surely, the image clears, and you can see, like an over-the-shoulder view, of another of those dwarven individuals wearing the big green mask as it walks through the dungeon. It's walking. You don't recognize any area within the dungeon as of yet, but what you see is him walking past 4 statues and then begins making his way up some stairs. Turns, follows around. He looks at a room. You see, level 4. Aha. The Chamber of Horrors. As you watch this figure moving, you begin to notice that he walks up to a doorway. The door opens for him. Inside is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He then stops, turns to look up at you, and begins stepping through midair towards whatever you're viewing him through.
So is he looking, do I get the impression that he's looking at me, or that he's looking in the direction of wherever I'm perched?
You get the sense that he's looking directly at you. It's almost like you're watching him through a sort of scrying sensor or something, and he's turned around, started looking at it. and begins making his way closer and closer to the surface of the water. What do you do?
When you say closer to the just so I understand it, when you say closer to the surface of the water, do you mean like actually in the water, or he looks like he's walking towards on? Okay, I'm gonna fly away.
Yeah, it would appear a hand begins to reach out of the water.
Flying away. No, not having that hand.
And he slowly pulls himself up out of the water. Though this time he looks a little bit different in that he doesn't look like the dwarven creature with the mask anymore. As he steps out of here, I should have a full body picture if it will load for you.
I'm gonna hide as soon as possible.
Yeah, I just be like, guys, there's bad stuff, not good stuff. It's not good. It's coming. It's not good. I don't like it. It's bad.
If I have the time then, based on his yelling, would like to run over there and use evasive footwork before I do, just in case those zombies are going to swipe at me as I run right by them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They will try to run. They will try to reach out at you.
All right, so I'm going to use evasive footwork, which lets me add, I believe it's 1d8. Let me double check. I could add 1 superiority dice to my AC, which is a d8. So my DC for this attack is... Roll it.
I'm gonna. So
25 is my
do
AC.
you know what that is? Does that look like anything you've seen before? Maybe. No? Oh, God. Okay.
It climbs out of the pool, stands in front of it, looks out towards you, and in a guttural voice speaks in Infernal. Do any of you speak Infernal?
Grigori did.
Averine speaks Infernal.
Okay. Averine, are you in the back corner or are you closer to the party?
I'm in the back corner.
Okay. Unfortunately, a little bit too far to be able to hear what he says to them. You roughly hear some voices. You can tell someone's speaking a dark guttural tone that should be Infernal, so you know that you would be able to understand it if you were to get a little bit closer.
I'll get a little bit closer.
Has he made
Which
any
point?
aggressive actions yet?
He stood almost at attention in front of the pool.
Kyle's going to shift his moonbeam so he still hasn't dropped across to where to the point in front of the captain.
Okay, that's a good point. You've got Moonbeam up, not Detect Magic. Which one have you got up? Because they're both concentration.
I dropped Detect Magic when I cast Moonbeam. So.
Cool. All right. So you'll hear him. He shouts out a command at Captain Pijo, whoever, speaking in Infernal, asking, "Who are you? You do not have the Black Skull. Speak or die."
The fellow's speaking the devil language. He's looking for a black skull. And if you don't surrender the black skull to him, he threatens death.
You have a skull. Is that the one he speaks of? Yep.
Do I have a skull?
The key. Is that
I
the one?
do have it, but I'm not going to speak and give my position away.
Which
Is
point?
the skull black anyway? The one that we got from
No, it's
No.
not. It's
it's not
pure
black.
white.
Yeah,
It's going to step forward. We're
I
going
don't
to
know
roll
if
for
that's a
initiative.
metaphorical black or actual black.
Now, Aaron, when I ran by, those 3 zombies can each take an opportunity attack at me if you want to take it, I believe.
They try. They can't beat a 25.
Woo!
Hey, DM, you want me to make a stealth roll to see where we're at starting off here?
You can. Yes, go ahead. I like how Zola's natural 1 on initiative is the same as Pijo's.
And better
5.
than And
Yeah.
better than the captain's 9.
He takes 2d8 radiant damage by walking into that spot. That's where I would have moved him.
Yep.
Um,
Do you want to roll the 2d8?
yeah, give me a second. I'll get the initiative out.
You didn't click.
Did I not click on my token? I did click on my token.
Oh.
Maybe that's sorry.
It was a 12.
Sorry, I had the measuring stick pointer on there and it didn't accept it.
Okay. That's tower, right?
Yeah, I'll 2d8, 2d10s. 8 points of radiant.
Okay. Add you in manually with 12, and he takes 12 points. Okay. I believe that's everyone in the turn order. If you are missing, please make yourself known now. Nope. Okay. So the Tomb Guardian takes 8 points of radiant damage. Stood where he is in front of Captain.
Does the radiant damage seem to bother him at all?
It does hurt him, but nothing, like, not any extra than it would normally.
Right.
Raises a mighty fist to punch Captain in the face. That's a 16 to hit.
Off the shield. Blam!
Another 16 to hit.
Shield again.
Averine.
I take aim with my wand. Am I able to get a shot off?
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right.
It's a bit of a tight shot between Captain, but you don't know him.
Oh, I'll shoot a firebolt for 20.
And it'll just pass by Captain's face, warm up his cheek a little bit as it does hit the Guardian.
For a half.
As he takes the
points of
fire damage, you notice that he seems to be a little bit shocked by it, a little bit more affected by it. Not in terms of damage, but his whole demeanor shifts ever so slightly. Anything else, Averine?
I'll call out. My firebolt perplexes him to some degree. I have not seen it before, and then I'll end my turn.
Tower or Carmen, whoever wishes to go first.
I'm just gonna quickly shout to Averine. Should I use fire or not use fire then?
It seemed like it damaged him, but he seemed confused by it. I don't know why.
Okay. Right, I will move forward and do Eldritch Blast.
Solid hit. You get to make 2 blasts, I believe.
Yep.
Go ahead and launch your second. For an extra... Ooh, that shot is going to miss.
Okay.
Anything else from you, Carmen?
And then Carmen will just step out of sight.
Okay. Tower.
I can't do anything.
No?
I haven't got any ranged stuff.
You can always hurl insults. Always an option.
I want to throw a produce flame, but I'm not close enough to do it. I don't want to waste ice knife right now.
Could you prepare some?
No, I've got Moonbeam running, and that's sufficient. So I've got a concentration spell up. I can't do anything. So I'm going to be back a little bit and just keep concentration.
Okay, Pijo and...
Tanking, that's like kind of feel a little bit like that's my job.
Oh, no.
Pijo and or Zola, you both get to act.
Took
Well,
my job, my accent.
Zola has the higher bonus to initiative, so I'll let her go first. Like the
Okay.
highest flat bonus to initiative. So
All right. Does this doorway, is it completely up to the ceiling, or is it only like 6 feet high?
It's about 8 foot. So
8 foot.
it's
Okay, so I
just
got like a
below.
little ledge that I could hang on
Yep.
and then dip down. And got it. That snake sounds
Like a viper.
Yeah. All right. So I'll do that. I'll hover over our new buddy's head, and as I strike, I will appear.
Since do you become visible before or after you hit?
As
She makes the attack, and as such, you do have advantage on the attack. That does land a crit.
noise. So that's 2 sneak attacks
Yep.
as well. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh. I just like stabbed him and then shook him like a dog with my hands there.
That's a powerful strike, Zola. He
Yeah, it
is
is.
well damaged, but the armor is still active.
I'm going to tell him. Did Averine pass along the information about the Black Skull, or did we just assume that?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna say, we do not have the Black Skull. Do we need it? And then I will start falling back.
Okay.
I have to move you in order to move myself. There you go.
In response, you are not permitted to use the seeing pool without it.
It was an accident.
I just thought it looked pretty. Oh, but is he speaking in common or is he speaking in infernal?
He speaks in Infernal
Oh.
back so that Averine can understand it, but he did understand the common that was said to him. Pijo, what are you going to do?
I'm going to hunter's mark him.
Okay.
And I'm going to take out my bow and arrow and I'm going to ready an attack because I don't know if this guy is necessarily one to kill. So I'm going to ready an attack. If he strikes at one of us again, I will fire as he's striking. But not necessarily, but only in that instance. Can I ready an attack and also have Hunter's Mark active?
Yeah.
Does it take concentration to ready?
It takes concentration to ready a spell.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So I'm going to do that, and just on the trigger of if he begins to attack one of us, I'll let the arrow go. And I'm going to say, guys, it looks like he's some kind of guardian here. He's been walking around the halls. We might not need to kill this guy. He might not be a total enemy. So that's just a thought, but I'm going to keep that ready to go.
Captain.
Those who seek to protect the tomb are servants of Aserarak and must die. And I will cast a vow that I will kill him with my enmity. As a bonus action, you can utter a vow of enmity against a creature you see within 10 feet, gain advantage on attack rolls for 1 minute, or until he dies. And I will attack him with my longsword in the face.
Okay. That hits.
And I will do my extra attack.
That kills.
Die! Stab!
Good job, new guy.
As the Tomb Guardian dies, the armor just falls to the floor, turns to rust, and disintegrates instantly. All plate armor for you.
Well, I guess that's that. There's a T-Rex in here, guys. I just wanted you to know that.
In here, in the pool.
Oh, well, maybe, because that's where he came from. And I don't know.
In the response to Zola's question, he seemed to suggest that use of that pool, whatever you did with it, he said that you needed the Black Skull to use it. Well, not to use it, but to be authorized to use it. So if you don't have one, don't use it is his position, which I think
Did the armor
silly.
just fall on the floor?
It fell on the floor. There was no corporeal element to it within the armor, and then the armor then turned to rust and disintegrated.
Okay.
Oh, completely disintegrated? Oh.
Yep.
I was about to say we could grab the armor and then shine the armor up and use it in the thing to cast the bloody light. But the universe wants to make it a lot harder for us.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna transfer my mark to one of these undead guys just so I can keep it active for as long as possible, so I won't necessarily need to recast it since it gets an hour.
So these guys can't reach much more than right in front of them. They are blocking a door. That much is certain. It looks almost like they're reaching through a portcullis, but they're completely blocking any sort of visual through the portcullis. Pijo has seen that there is another secret door past the well, and you guys still have the area north with the black hole that you can drop down.
I am just going to step up in front of them and begin stabbing one, and try to be in an area where not all three can reach me, but just one or two, and just stab them and see if stabbing them will kill them, or if, like the other one, when the pretty girl with the blonde hair threw the rock and they just got better afterwards, if stabbing them repeatedly kills them or not.
You keep stabbing and stabbing. You chop off the head, it reforms. You break its bones, it reforms. You do a whole horde of things. They can't beat your armor class.
I step back and say, well, I cannot kill these things. They do not seem that powerful. But if we could figure out some way to deal with this magic, perhaps you could get what is behind them.
Well, there's a door on the other side of that pool that I'm not allowed to look in, but I'm totally gonna look in. That we can keep going through, and maybe because there was those other doors that looped around, maybe this one will loop around too. And there's all just maybe this is just a temple of loops.
Pijo, see what is through the other passageway.
Okay. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to peek in that pool again when I fly over it. Because he told me not to. He very explicitly said, don't do it. Pijo has to do it then. Not following those rules.
Strangely enough, the water is cloudy, and it stays cloudy as you look at it.
The water's cloudy now, guys.
It's almost boring now.
Yeah, don't care anymore. I'm going to open the same thing, shield out, pushing the door open.
Looking through, you can see 3 archways overlooking a circular chamber where a spiral staircase does descend down to another level. The staircase walls are lined with unlit torches in iron sconces, but there is a single one in the middle that is lit. That light is cascading out to show that all of the other torches, in place of what should be something to burn, is a single skull.
What
Are
color
any
is
of
the
them
skull?
black? Yeah.
None of them were black.
Wow.
But as you kind of lean through, you notice the skull closest to you, its eyes suddenly explode in a blur of red light as the skull catches on fire with your proximity, giving you a little bit of light. Beyond it, you can see another doorway, the spiral staircase, and a tunnel that leads somewhere to the north.
There's a hallway, and there's a spiral staircase, and there's a skull that just fire, but it lets us see, which is good for anybody here who can't see in the dark. And there's some doors that we can get through if anybody wants to come with me. Ovalaka, if you want to help me out with this, we can go. We can let somebody go ahead, but if we're gonna cure your tomb, we're gonna have to go forward.
Cure my tomb? I don't even want to be here.
Well, I don't know if we have any choice over that. You're dead.
Hey, Tower, Carmen, can you guys get past the undead things? Or do you want help? There's some stuff over here.
If you guys rush, if you guys work together, you should be able to get through without these things getting at you enough. Captain can help block the path. You guys can squeeze past. You can get past. You just can't get through this door until you shine sunlight on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. In that circumstance, Averin, do you wish to get through this door? Or should we proceed? If I can get close enough to that water, then I can create a shield and place it inside the other tomb to create light down the passageway.
The water's all foggy now, though. I don't know if that's gonna work.
I can clean the water. All I need to do is create a smooth surface, and then light will bounce. This is all to do with specularity and roughness and surfaces thing.
Tower, I told you,
Tower
you're sounding really
adjusts
smart.
his
right now.
monocle.
It will be completely mirror perfect. So all I have to do is create that in the water, and then transport it and push it over to the other side.
So do you need me to stand around here to reflect the light over if you push the water into the room? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, that is what I'm thinking. Because perhaps you can hang over the banister here and project the light out, so you can go straight down to the doorway.
Well, if you can get over there and do what you need to do, then by all means, let's give it a shot.
If with the bold one if he can deal with these creatures, so I can get close enough to the water and then get past. Can we do that so he can block them while we?
Yeah, I'll just stand there and beat him off with my shield.
Yeah, I'll shuffle.
Get
I'll
the
shuffle
water.
past.
Back at him a little.
You move past.
Yeah, and I'll create a kind of disc, and then with a complete smooth surface, and then I'll stay here, and I'll then place it. I can place it right at the edge where the sun's coming and get it to reflect down the corridor.
Okay. You move the little flowing disc. You use your arcane powers, or natural magic powers, create this perfect shimmering mirror of ever-flowing water. You move it like a blade to cut through the light. It begins to reflect right towards your location.
Okay, so I can leave it a permanent. No.
Unfortunately, as you break the light, a huge block from above you drops, as it was no one made any effort to stop it. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw as it's going to drop, and you need to decide which way you're going. You are literally stood underneath it. So.
No, sorry, completely, my understanding was to place myself before, as far as I could get when I wasn't underneath that block. I was aware of the block.
Yes.
I didn't want to do anything with this. I thought any interaction in this room might set that block off. I didn't want to be by that block. So
okay, so you wouldn't be stood in that position. You'd be stood one square back.
So that was my misunderstanding. I thought that it was the next step, that inside the room that was the block that was going to drop. Sorry. That was my bad, and I've just completely dropped out of roll 20.
Okay. Sorry, rage quit. Didn't mean to force you to do that. Okay. So as you break the light, immediately, since you're actually stood there, the block that was above drops down, completely fills the passage, blocks off the light that you had created.
Well, shit.
How's it going, Tower?
Is the sunlight coming soon?
The light. I'm going to walk back. I'm going to drop concentration on the water. Back. The block dropped.
So no sunlight then?
It was this interaction with the light that caused the lock to drop. This could be much more complicated now.
All right. Well, looks like we go into the room with the water. Or past it.
Okay. So without a way to open the large block, you guys seal off a portion of the tomb, and without the capability to summon light, you feel confident that there is no way to get through that door with the zombies. So, what would you like to do?
Well, not Pijo wouldn't think of this, but can't we like interact with the mirror tomb? Maybe there's some way that can solve the puzzle, because it seems strange that would be here just for.
I can't imagine we can curve. We haven't got enough of us to curve light round a sphere. Around a sphere, through a portal, round the ring again, out the door. No, at this point, until you guys gain the ability to create sunlight, there's no way you can get through that door.
Long rest, we should be able to get that with Tower, right?
What is that
Druid
stone
spell?
made out of that dropped from the ceiling?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't pick Daylight up at this level, because I figured I'd go for the offensive stuff. But...
Daylight is like the worst spell ever.
What is that stone made out of that dropped from the ceiling on you, Mr. Tower was your name?
I think we're surrounded by granite.
Granite.
What if we just go past the zombies?
Well, that is the only thing to do at this point.
I mean, go through them. All right. I'm going to walk through the zombies. And if they
walk into
walk right
the portcullis.
Is there a portcullis behind the zombies?
Yeah, so they look like almost like they're reaching through a portcullis to grab at you.
Oh,
They are in a door.
So we just need to unlock this portcullis. Is that right? Is it like with the hinges and a lock, or is it something that's slammed down?
Slammed down.
Does it look like it goes up, or is it just a jail bar cells?
What's your perception? Passive?
Passive perception is 11.
11. Then roll a perception check.
Right, I will correct myself now for your convenience. Oh yes, I do have that spell. But
20.
I cannot get it until I have a long rest.
So, looking at it, there is some mechanism to the door. What you actually notice is that the bottom of the portcullis, though it is jammed into the floor, just behind it, it actually looks like the door opens at a angle rather than up. It actually just opens up like a garage door or something. So the thing is stuck into the ground, but can be pushed out. So with enough force, you guys might be able to just move the zombie door up. But it would require a lot of force, and those zombies, while they can't beat your AC, Captain, they might be able to beat someone else's. So you guys need to be careful.
Okay, right. So I have daylight, but daylight doesn't cast sunlight. So I think there's only one thing that casts sunlight.
It looks like this door isn't locked. If we apply pressure, it'll open. Like so.
And set the zombies free that keep recombobulating themselves?
Well, they'll be on top of the door, I guess. So if we push, they'll be above us.
Up.
Yeah.
It'll be like in Scream when she's in the garage door, the doggy door, and it goes up and she gets crushed during the party.
They can fall off though, and then rejoin us back down here.
Well, I'm not very strong, but I am happy to do my level best to push the door open if anyone will assist me. Or I'll provide assistance to someone else if anyone else would like to try.
I could provide a distraction.
Why?
Are we determined to go through this door? Because there's a whole empty hallway over this direction that was hidden, which in my mind, I think that would mean someone would not want us to go that way. And as this is a Tomb of Acererak, I think that means we ought to go that way.
Also, one way has definite bunch of zombies. The other way has doors that might have friendly gods behind them, or bunnies, or a friendly bunny god. All kinds of good things could be that way. Definitely bad things that way right now.
I thought you wanted Captain Laszlo, I thought you wanted to destroy these undead.
That was before the granite block dropped. I have observed you all, and while you all seem relatively competent, only the blue one seems halfway capable of lifting anything more than 20 or 30 pounds.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Your suggestion then is that we push our way through here, where our hands will be completely preoccupied, and who knows what happens afterwards. I'm certainly happy to kill them if possible, but the manner to do so does not seem particularly suited to our needs at the present. But you are right. I would very much like to destroy these creatures.
What if their demise is right behind them? What if they're afraid of sunlight? What if there's like a window right behind them? We just have to pull the shade open or something.
Well, then, Rini, we can find that later. But right now...
Oh, this big one says you can figure it out later after a chance to meditate and rest, no?
Are these zombies like normal zombies, where they kind of just like any kind of creature like appears to be catching their attention? They're just like, no, I'm gonna follow you.
Anything, absolutely anything.
So I could create creatures and have them fall back and follow those creatures behind them.
You can't get my body.
How big are the holes in this light portcullis?
I could create like a bunch of cats and have them run in using conjure animals. Have them
Could you
face off
conjure a
cats.
pixie and have it go in
If
and
we didn't
turn
have-
them
if
all
we-
into like cats or giant apes?
Yeah, well, we where's the thing? It's like potentially carve
Yes, you can
polymorph
totally
by
do
cats into giant apes.
Just which one would you like to do? Which one would you like to try? Rather than talking about opening the door or doing some sort of spell to trick the zombies, what are you actually going to do?
Just do something nice.
The universe.
Aaron's saying just do
The
something.
universe appears to be putting weight on us right now.
Either
universe
walk
wants
into
to
one of
hurry
the
up.
rooms.
Like,
Oh, come on.
Avorine, put your shoulder into this. As I said, this is an opportunity to evaluate one another. You have an idea. It will prove whether or not your ideas are good or not.
I would be wasting a technical 3rd level out of 5 spell.
Let's just push the darn
I'm
bars.
putting my shoulder into the
Okay,
portcullis.
roll an
If anyone cares
athletics.
to join me.
Dandy, if anybody goes for our friends, you step in the way.
Danny's strong. Get Danny to do it.
I'm
Now, someone's
helping the
pushing
captain.
with me, right? Yeah.
Aye.
Is someone helping?
Yeah.
Helping Captain.
Avorine and I are pushing on the door.
Okay.
Given her strength, I presume I'm pushing and she's like helping.
Supervising.
Yeah.
It
All right.
hinges here. Put your back into it, right? Yeah, that's
Ah!
The door forward. As you do so, the zombies get moved slightly out of the way and move up. As you push it far enough, you hear a click, locks into place. The zombies are still dangling, trying to reach at you guys, but the doorway is open.
Oh, so are they on the ceiling? Did they get stuck in the
They're on the
portcullis?
ceiling.
I managed to push
They're
up.
Yep.
I am
They're stuck in-
Laszlo. I am super strong. Ah!
All right. The chamber beyond. One thing stands out right in the center of the room. Appears to be a chariot bearing a bronze sarcophagus. Lining the walls of this room are 6 glass cauldrons. Each of them are brimming with human bones, or humanoid bones, as they're just falling out on the floor all around it. On the wall, along the back, the southern wall, you can see a bronze shield. It bears the embossed image of a Chultan warrior carrying a shield. Below, an inscription reads, "Bow before no one." 4 bronze statues stand on pedestals to either side of the shield. Those are the star things. And they depict Chultan warriors. 1 holding a sword, 2 with spears, and 1 is missing its face. What would you guys like to do?
I will walk into the room with Everine.
Aren't you guys holding the gate up there?
No, there
The
was a
gate
click.
seems to
It went
click.
into
Oh,
in
and
place.
click.
place
That was
and
it.
it's
Hold
stuck in
sealing up. Okay.
place.
Got it.
Yeah.
So this is reminiscent of one of the shrines that told us to bow to no one. I don't recall. Carl doesn't recall who that was. I'm sure Averine does.
Papazotto.
And our opinion of Papazotl was...
It's kind of stuck up.
Nervous Obalaka warns its host that the cauldrons contain the bones of Papazotl's most zealous devotees, who, even in death, might seek to protect him.
The cauldrons contain the bones of what was his name again? Papalaka?
Papazotl's.
Sorry. Yeah. Of Papazotl's most dedicated devotees, who even in their death may want to protect him. That was from Ovalaka. She told me that.
Oh, so that means that the sarcophagus in the other room might have actually belonged to a god, just was disguised. Crap.
Why would you jump to that conclusion?
Because it's suggestive that Papazotl might be in this bronze sarcophagus.
Does
Isn't
this one, does the top of this sarcophagus have any iconology?
It doesn't, but the chariot's body shows a tall bird with a long, sharp beak painted all onto it.
Oh, nope, there's the indication right there. Never mind. So,
This is not a Serarak.
No, but the sarcophagus might have some item, some or one or more items to aid us in our quest to defeat him.
Then
But we should proceed with caution.
I grow weary of their weight, and I walk in. I've been stuck here for 2 or 3 hours, and all this talking is giving me a headache.
A loud voice shouts out to you in common that all of you can hear. Bow to no one, as a spear comes flying towards you.
bow! Quick!
Shield up.
But he intoned not to. I'm
Does
confused.
a 26 hit you?
Sure.
Okay. You take 18 points of force damage as this ethereal spear hits you. Now, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception. Can it hit my shield and just rock me? Ring my bell. My passive perception
you still
is 15.
take the 18 damage.
Yeah, still take the 18. My passive perception is 15.
Okay. You notice that that spear came from the shield.
My shield?
No, the shield up on the wall. The big
Oh,
bronze
okay.
shield up on the wall with the picture of the Omuan warrior holding a shield. The force spear, holding a spear. The force spear actually came from the shield as you stepped in, and it shouted, "Bow to no one."
I'm going to ask Obalaka if that was Papazotl's voice.
Sounded like it.
All right.
A
That's
little
Papazotl.
distorted, just twisted.
In case anybody wasn't sure.
Zola, you think we should go down on our hands and knees in this room?
Well, if I understand the meaning of the word intoned, something just got intoned very loudly.
Yeah.
So Captain is going to brace up, bring up his shield, and I'm going to do the dodge action, is it?
Okay.
And then I'm going to move forward for my movement. I'm going to... That thing keeps getting hitting at me. I'm going to go check it out.
I like to turn
Does
to
a
Carmen.
17 hit you?
Nope.
As it keeps shouting, "Bow to no one." Do you keep moving?
Yeah.
15 to hit.
Nope. Let's see. I actually... How far do I have a movement of 30 feet? Let's see, it'd be 2 rounds for me to get up to the shield.
Mm-hmm. It's still shouting at you to bow to no one. What's everyone else doing?
I like to turn to Carmen and say, this guy's going to get himself killed like 5 minutes into
Yeah.
us meeting him.
I know, it's crazy. Because the plaque out here said to bow, and that's like the clues that have been helping us out so far. So surely we should be going in low, but this guy's quite, he's pretty.
Yeah, if it works for him, then,
Yeah. He's stubborn.
It is
confident.
It's nice not to get hurt up front all the time.
Well,
Yes.
it might not be for long if he carries on like this.
It is nice to have a holiday.
We could go
15
and
to
shout forward. Are you
No,
sure?
you'll have to clear 22.
Okay.
Laszlo, what are you doing up there?
All those criticals are really making me nervous. It keeps throwing spears at me.
Then get low, bow down.
Why? It keeps going off my shield. That is the point.
But are you taking damage?
No, it keeps going off my shield. Clank, clank, clank.
But what is your plan when you get to the other shield?
Well, I'm there now and I'm poking at it. It does not seem to be doing anything.
Okay.
Can I see anything as I'm poking at it?
It's still shouting at you, bow to no one.
Does anyone know what this infernal racket means?
Try bowing.
That seems counterintuitive to what it is telling me to do.
I agree, but what else you got going for you?
I suppose I could examine the room while I keep using
It
my
is a
shield.
statement. It means to bow. You're not bowing in front of. You're not bowing it is to bow to no one. You are bowing at no one. Bow.
You are all very strange.
Thank you.
Rather than bow, I'll plant my shield and I'll get low. So I'll take a knee. It's not like bowing, but I'm below the lower level, I guess.
So you're not bowing.
Well, I'm taking a knee. I'm now below. Like if I'm almost 6 feet tall, I'm now at 3.5 feet.
So he's not bowing.
But,
No.
but the point is you're lowering your height without bowing.
Correct. Well, because I don't know how to bow without dropping my shield.
24, does that hit you?
You got me.
What if you put the shield like behind
17
you?
force damage.
17.
That is not a bow.
Your idea did not seem to work.
You're taking the knee. You're not bowing.
Oh my lord.
Okay, fine. I'll do. Let's see.
Oh god.
Okay.
Right.
What's the right word?
If someone
You know when people bow, but they like take a knee and like.
I'm only going to bow. I'm gonna
Since
go.
I'm already
Take
in a
another
knee, I'll do that.
14 points of force damage.
Oh, I'm
As-
bowing and walking in. This is getting silly.
So Carmen bows.
Yes.
Carmen is in the room,
By the door.
bowing by the door. Yep, Carmen is bowing.
No.
And so it's going to shout at you, bow to no one, and it's going to launch a force spear towards you.
Oh god.
That's a 25 to hit you.
That will hit.
Carmen. You'll take 8 points of force damage.
Okay.
Tower's gonna blow up.
Captain, are you still...
You're now bowing to him.
Wow.
Captain's gonna withdraw from the room, still doing my fancy dodge actions, so you have disadvantage.
Bow to no one. Bow to the one without a face. Bow to the one without a face. That one's no
Oh.
one. It doesn't have a face.
You
Just
see
Another
that?
bow.
14 points of force damage.
Healing word.
30 feet away though.
Okay.
So we cast healing word.
6, and then out one more time.
8 points of healing on him.
So one more just before you get out the room. Misses.
I'll do healing with the
Click, click.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So, bow to no one.
cure wounds.
Picho's gonna fly through,
What is cure wounds?
and he's
Just
I'm gonna lay on hand for myself, FYI. So
did he actually bow or was he constantly kneeling?
He was he refused to bow.
no, I said at one point. I was on my knees, so I did the bow where you take a knee and bow. But
Oh, but you
that
did
may
bow.
have I'm to the shield.
Okay. Then, sorry, I missed that. A lot of things were going on. A lot of people
There was a
moved
lot of
about.
yell.
Yeah. In the moment where you were bowing, no shots were fired at you.
Okay, I have figured it out. If you bow, we're gonna say that all that still happened. There's just one shot missing. If you bow, they won't shoot at you. Now, if you have a great big shield, most of the time they won't hit you anyway. But maybe you bow and there's nothing to be shot at you. Here, I'll try it again.
I slap him on the shoulder. I say, "Good luck, buddy."
Will you
Are
be
you
back?
bowing in the room?
Yeah, I'll do it before. It's that kneel bow thing.
Baldwin,
Okay.
will you be back?
In the
As-
Doom of Horrors, there is no one never knows.
As you move forward in a bow stance, it doesn't throw doesn't throw spears at you.
Okay. It is not shooting anything at me.
All
Now
right.
what?
Open the tomb. A sarcophagus. You
I'm
know
unclear
the-
how to do that while still bowing.
Get close
your
to it
head
and
down
push it
and
open.
I will keep bowing and get close to the tomb.
You slowly creep up, and I'm imagining he stays on one knee and he's just doing the shuffle where one leg goes forward, pulls him like shuffling on one knee.
Yeah,
Pushing
like he's doing
slowly.
lunges where one knee comes forward and he
Yep.
slides forward and yeah.
Eventually, you'll get to the sarcophagus, still bowing before no one.
Can I look at the sarcophagus?
It is a clean slate sarcophagus. The
Is
lid
it on
is
wheels?
fit perfectly. The chariot is on wheels.
Can I just start pushing the chariot out the hallway?
It's a strength score.
It's only 16.
Okay.
But my strength, well, saving throw is better, but my score is 16.
Your carry capacity is 15 times your strength score, so your push. Oh wait, so if it's 16, you can only push 240 pounds, and that's going to be difficult. But would you like to try? You don't know how much this weighs. Okay, so you
Put a shoulder.
you push from which direction?
I think I would get behind it here and then kind of try to push to see if it'd go.
Okay. So you turn your back to the shield, bow down, facing the party.
No, so I would still be bowed to the shield up front, but then you brace your back against the sarcophagus, shield in front of you, and like try to push back away from it that way.
You utterly fail at doing so. You can't
Okay.
bow in one direction and push in the other effectively. It doesn't
That
seem
is
to
what
want
I
to.
was saying. Trying to deal with the sarcophagus and keep bowing seems really difficult.
Can you just push the lid off while keeping bowed?
Don't face us either.
Don't face us.
Can't you
Keep
kind
facing the wall.
of put your butt up against a ridge and kind of go that way with it?
It is too heavy. I will throw out my back with that way. And if you've ever done it before, it is not worth the pain.
All right. Try pushing the lid off.
I'll try to push the lid off.
Okay. You do. Pushing the lid off of the sarcophagus is not too difficult. You make it across. Inside the sarcophagus, you can see gold cups, gold cloak pins, a strange-looking amulet. The amulet looks like it has what appears to be a gold medallion on it with two hands open with a sun in between them.
Laszlo, what we're looking for is a magical item, and upon touching it, you may have an encounter with a god. Just so you know. If that creeps you out, then you can come back out, and one of us will do it. But if
Is there a body in there at all, or is it just
dust and remains? You don't see any actual bones.
Oh, there does not seem to be anything here worthwhile. Just useless gold and some cops, an amulet. May or may not be magical. I do not know. I am worried though that climbing up and reaching for these things.
Can you hold up the amulet?
Can I reach in and? Yep. Okay, why not?
Okay, you grab the amulet.
We're finally making
Strange.
some forward progress. This guy
we are
has
making some.
hours. This guy's for hours had nothing going on, and some progress is worth it.
Strange shadows suddenly shift across the walls, forming into the outline of a long beak and long-legged bird. Its beak stabs at you, and a voice in your mind speaks, "You will do as I command now." Are you going to allow Papazotl to willingly possess you, or will you contest?
No, I have other directives. I do not follow you.
Okay. Roll a contested charisma.
While this is going on, I'd like to turn to Carmen again and say, FYI, this guy is the counter to Kubazan.
Okay. This might be bad.
As this guy is relatively forceful, does the 16... You're a paladin, right?
I am a paladin.
Does that 16 include your aura?
It should.
Protection?
My aura should be a +2.
Mm-hmm. What's your
I
charisma
believe
save?
my charisma was a 2. Yes, that's a 4. So that's 16 is correct with the aura.
Okay. Papazotl forces his way into you.
Let's see. Do I have anything to give me a bonus on that? I don't think so.
Is the +4 not your charisma save? Your actual charisma modifier, not your...
That's my saving throw. No, my charisma modifier is 2.
But it's your you rolled a legitimate save that is with proficiency. Your proficiency bonus is what?
Oh no, it doesn't. It's just my number only so far had the 12 plus 4, which would be 2 is charisma, 2 is my aura. I didn't include my proficiency. With proficiency, it'd be 20.
Are you proficient in charisma saves?
No. Because I took my first 3 levels were fighter.
Because you're a
Paladin was my
fighter
last levels.
first.
Right. So strength and con are my real superior.
There we go. All right, that makes sense. Then yes, you fail, unfortunately, and Papazotl inhabits your spirit, your body. Papazotl the Eblis is shrewd and conniving. While inhabited by Papazotl, you gain the following flaw, which overrides any opposing flaw. I bow before no one, and expect others to do as I command. But, while inhabited by Papazotl, you can't be surprised. You gain advantage on all wisdom checks, and you never take damage from falling.
Awesome.
Just jump down to the bottom.
This is...
You also, whilst Papazotl has you, come to an immediate understanding of this amulet. You will still need to attune to it should you desire to do so, which I think you might, or at least someone in the party might. As this is an amulet of health, requires attunement, your constitution score is 19 while you are attuned to while you wear this amulet. It has no effect on you if your constitution score is already higher than 19. What is your con score?
My con score is 14.
14. So your constitution score would go up by 5.
Sure.
Thus,
that would be
points would end up going up by 2 times... Yeah, times 9, so 18.
Hello?
Hello. You're mine now. Let's get through this cursed place. And perhaps with my instruction, you will actually succeed rather than bumbling about. First step. Grab a piece of cloth from within my tomb. Cover that damned shield up. Keep shouting at people.
I'll tell you what. You are a forceful creature. I am also forceful. We can work together, and I appreciate intelligent people working with me. So as long as we can get that out of the way, I will gladly do so. I'll grab the cloth and do what he said.
Okay. And you cover up the shield. It's no longer able to see anyone in there, so it stops shouting to bow before no one. Okay. So, what do you do?
Everything all right in there?
Not particularly. What have you gotten me into?
Did you find Papazotl?
If Papazotl is in this corp is incorporeal spirit that is now manifesting my body and talking to me like some
Sounds
sort
like him.
of elf.
That sounds about right. Welcome to the club.
I'm Moa.
I got Obalaka.
These names mean nothing to me.
Don't worry, they mean nothing to me also.
Excellent. You and I will be good companions in that regards, I think. Very well. If any of you care to gather the gold or diamonds or gems or whatever there is,
There's
you
diamonds
may
in
do
there?
so. Not diamonds, but there are shiny coins.
Leave it, Rachel, leave it.
Leave it.
You do, however, as you're now stood up and your mind is a little bit clearer, more focused and conniving, you notice that there is a secret door just to your east in the wall.
Pijo, perhaps you would like to look over there. You seem very interested in irregularities in the wall.
Okay. Sure. You sound much more forceful now.
Can
And
we
I
walk
don't-
in?
You can do if you wish. Zombies still dangling through the door, trying to claw at you all, but don't reach you. You're fine.
How does
Move
the
on through.
doorway look? The secret door? Does it just look like another push door or something else?
This one actually, what you notice is there's a slight seam, and in the design of the artwork all along the walls, which looks very Aztec, lots of lines and curled square shapes, you notice that one of the squares actually has a slight keyhole in the middle.
Okay. What does the keyhole look like, the shape? Is it just a typical
It
keyhole?
looks
or is
like
it...
a standard keyhole, and as you go up to actually investigate it, you with your passive investigation should notice that this is a simple tumbler system door. As you investigate the door to potentially look through it and open it, we're going to go ahead and take a 15-minute break. So we're going to take a break. Everyone, bear with us. On your screens now, you should see tonight's Who's That Monster. Remember, the Who's That Monster is always a creature witnessed in the previous episode. So type in the chat who you think it is, and we'll find out after the break. See you all in 15. Bye. Welcome back, guys, after the break. Thanks for sticking with us. So, this week's Who's That Monster was... all that, yeah. The Mimic. Remember, last week we had a fun moment where Tower called out, that's probably a mimic over there, and so they went and saw it, and yes, it was a mimic, and he jumped off the side of the ledge with Zola in tow, pulled it down to quite a fall, which now, I guess, Captain can take those falls, as he's immune to fall damage.
Good times.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, you guys are stood now in front of what appears to be a secret lock on a secret door. It is a simple locking mechanism, and the door itself does not appear to be trapped in any way. So all you need to do is use these tools and crack it open.
Now, when you
I would like to roll perception real quick to see if I notice anything weird about the door itself, not just that it's a secret door.
Yep.
'Cause,
Roll a perception check. Looks pretty standard. Simple door. Once the key unlocks, it is a push to open, as you don't see any hinges on your side.
Okay.
Okay. So, who's going to open the door?
shall I, Carmen, or would you like the honors?
I can give it a go.
Okay, and
I'll
she'll
give it a go.
pull out
I
a
need
little
tools.
rolled up piece of canvas, slip out a pick, give it to her, slip out the second part of that little other part.
Good
Lever.
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what this is better than I do. I would suggest don't, as soon as you get it open, don't push it.
Okay.
Just back away slowly.
Okay.
So, Carmen,
Which I'm
you
not.
have a set of thieves' tools.
I'm with you.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not proficient in thieves' tools, but you can
Right.
utilize them whilst making any of your dexterity checks. So if you would like to make a sleight of hand check
Yes.
using
Okay.
the thieves' tools, go ahead and do so.
Okay. Oh, hang on. I'll do this one. Oh, that's a really low roll.
17.
Does Zola,
Okay.
does Zola giving her the picks count as help?
Zola giving her the picks gives her the opportunity to even attempt the roll. So yes, you hear a click. The shift of the tumbler. You have unlocked the door. There is a slight give. Yep,
Okay.
there is a slight give in the door at this point. It is easy to just push open.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've done it, guys. I've clicked it. It will open if we push it. So, who wants to go first?
Lazlo?
You big old shield.
I has never experienced such a group of so timid, all you people.
Oh, you should have seen me
Good.
a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
I've already done my time.
I have to point out that all of your non-timid friends are dead.
This is true. That's a bit
Do you
harsh.
push
yeah.
open the door?
I kick it open.
You kept telling us about your friend who walked through a door and then came out in pieces.
So, from this side of the door, as you kick it open, you see through to a small, tight corridor, 5 foot wide, 10 foot tall. At the other end of the corridor, which is about 25 feet away from you, you can see the inside of another door. It seems like the same sort of system that you've just opened this way, but there is actually a handle on this side that could be used to just open it. In the middle, stood on a table, is a single dusty, slightly purple glowing bottle.
Congratulations, it is not trapped. After you.
Regular.
Are you going in?
Is there another trap? Is there any traps in there? Check the traps.
Roll a perception check. So Pijo sees the shiny bottle. Everyone else looking into the room also sees the bottle, and you guys can see, so Tower and Pijo, you both notice that there's someone inside the bottle. The bottle's maybe 3 inches tall, but there appears to be a small little person with dark brown skin, big person, but trapped inside the bottle, waving a huge meaty hand at you all.
I have no clue what he's saying.
Taro will tentatively walk in the room.
What is?
Does anybody speak tiny?
This is not how something I comprehend. I will do that.
Does he look aggressive on his little face?
No, he looks like he's in desperate need of help.
Can any of us can Pijo recognize what kind of creature this is in here?
History, religion,
They're all the same.
work. Yeah. Tower, as you get there, you can actually hear this person speaking now that you're close enough that you can hear it muffled through.
Hello,
Pijo's
little-
got no idea. He's speaking in Terran. Do you understand Terran or Primordial?
I understand Terran.
Okay.
But I'm too
Then
far
you
away.
don't, Tower, stood next to it. You hear some muffled noises, but you don't quite understand the language.
Does the table? Is there any kind of pressure plates on the table or anything that I can see?
Not with your passive perception, and even if you were to roll. There doesn't appear to be any traps. It's just a bottle on a table.
Actually, Teo, if perchance I don't know if this is really going to make much of a difference, but if this is an elemental, I have advantage on that because it's one of my favorite enemies. Since he speaks Terran, I know there's a chance. I only got a 12, so I don't know if that's really going to make a difference.
I don't understand this language.
Okay.
What is it in there?
What does it look like? Just a little
It looks, and let me see if I can get a picture for you. I believe I have one. The image of this individual is female, big red robes. Lower half appears to be gaseous, while the upper half is almost looks like it's made out of earth.
Okay.
This is some sort of elemental.
It is some sort of elemental.
I might recognize these elements. Like, is this something I might have encountered in the past, or having done
History or religion check?
History. Come on, do good, do good. I could have done with the other one.
You recognize its form to be that of an elemental, at least.
It is some form of elemental, but I have heard the language, but I'm not competent in it.
Well, maybe I can help, and I'm gonna scoot on up there and see if I can hear better what this creature is saying.
Get me out of here!
In Terran, I'm gonna respond. How did you get there?
I was trapped. I was lured inside the bottle and then trapped. I need you to just lift up the cork. Just lift it. Just.
Let me consult. Guys, she wants us to open the cork. Now, okay, Obalaka and me saying we should be careful because the gods are in here and they're helpful, but this isn't in the sarcophagus. But the Pijo and me is saying could be helpful, and I want to help a person that's trapped.
Papazotl, do you know what this guy is? I think it's in my head.
Yes, that is a Tao. I encourage my host to treat the Tao like a servile lickspittle.
Well, does a servile lickspittle make a good servant?
Well, they obey. That is all they're good for. Is obey.
Great! I go in and I wedge past Pijo and Tower and I pick up the bottle.
Oh, hey, ow, God, you could ask.
You understand
next time
Terran?
you come through.
I do not.
Or primordial?
I do not.
Okay. Truthful Moa advises his host not to break any bargains made with the Tao.
Moa says don't break any bargains with the Tao.
So
A Tao, you say?
That's what he said.
What does Avery know about Taos?
some form of intelligence check, history, religion.
23.
23. So a Tao is a type of elemental. There are degrees of elemental. These are on the same sort of level as genies and that sort of. It's better than a higher class creature than your average pure elemental, and not quite an elder elemental yet. These Tao are typically the ruling class on the earth elemental plane.
So do I think does Averine think setting it free would be a good idea?
You could know. Come on. Open up. That's a good character sheet. You would know that a Tao is neutral, though it is evil. But you would know that bargains struck with Tao tend to be kept by both sides litigiously. If only you had someone that was very much about deals.
If only. All right, do you speak the common tongue?
No. Could you just translate for him, please? Look, if you... Perhaps I can
This
make a
is
promise.
worthless to me. And I set it down and I walk.
Well, hang on. He's trying to talk to us, okay?
It sounds like
Why don't Yeah.
I have no use for someone who cannot speak. If you wish to speak to them, go right ahead. But this
Well,
thing
I'm
is
sorry, Mr.
worthless.
From that you think because people can't speak your language, they're not worth listening to. But some people in this great world communicate differently. What would you like me to relay to this grump over here?
I can give you all of my jewels. Jewels fresh from the Earth Elemental Plane. Lots of treasures.
Don't do anything in exchange for anything.
I did not.
Peter.
It is worthless to me, and I walk away before I hear the translation.
Reaction
It says it has a lot of jewels, though, right?
No,
You too, it's okay.
No. Right. Just
All right.
put the bottle with the little person down.
We do not need
And
to.
step away.
We need assurances that they will not attack us.
All right. Fine. Perhaps I can make the deal even better for you. If you don't
Make
want
the deal
treasure.
Can he understand us?
No, but he can tell that Pijo is being hesitant and he really wants to get out of this thing. Look,
We just need assurances he does not wish to attack us. And we could do with some help with this tomb. If he is
We've
willing
got
to
enough
do
of
this.
us.
If he is willing to do this, any more help against that lich is a lot of help at all.
Oh, we don't.
If he was willing to help us, he can go his own way afterwards. We do not care.
I am a powerful being with great magics you could never comprehend.
Well, look, if you're stuck in a bottle, I'm not like. Let's.
No,
What are you? What are you?
Look, long
Yes.
story short, it's a magical bottle. But look, please, if you will just unstopper the bottle, or even just crack it a little bit, just break the glass just a little bit, I can get out. I will help you out. I'll let you utilize up to 3 of my spells, and then I'll leave you all alone. Just nice and leave you. I'll be safe. You'll be safe. We'll be good.
Did you?
So he says that if we let him out, we'll get to you. He'll do magic for us 3 times.
No if-thens. That's
No
a
if
deal.
thens.
You
Okay.
don't want to make any deals.
Oh,
with
no,
anything
no,
that
no,
happens
no,
has to
no.
be of each individual party's own volition. Do you understand? So if you uncork the bottle, you do it for free. If they help us, they do it for free.
Okay. My friend here says that we should not agree to anything. I can help you because I want to help you, but not because you're giving me a thing. And you can give me a thing because you want to give me a thing, not because I help you. Just because we are all free people in this tomb, able to do whatever we want. Is that right? In comment, I'm like, is that the right? Did I do that?
I don't know what you're saying.
So, you willingly break me out of here, and I willingly give you access to my magic in return.
Well, okay, so you're close. I can willingly let you out.
Great.
But no, I said there's a but. I can, not I will. I can willingly let you out, and you can help us, but not in return.
Okay. So, you will let me out.
I did not say will.
But we're not striking a bargain here. You just want to let me out.
I mean, I don't know if I want to let you out, but this is...
You
know.
really do. It would be a really good idea to just let me out. Please. I've been stuck in here for a very long time.
Hang on. Ovalaka,
Yes.
can this person help us at all? I mean, practically, not like, they'll help us, but then, I mean, I spent enough time with Grigori. I know how this thing can sometimes work out for people. You don't know who Grigori is. That means nothing to you. I think you get my gist.
I believe that with beings like this, extra-plane entities that do tend to make deals, they always stick to their letter of the deal. But you need to be really careful about what their letter of the deal is. What is the exact thing that they say? And they'll stick to that.
Okay. Thank you, Ovalaka.
Might be wise to say, oh, and you won't do anything to actively harm any of us.
That's helpful. You're smart. I like having you in here because my brain doesn't work like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back in Terran. Okay, so I have some questions for you before
Okay.
I consider. You say you'll let us use some of your magic. What magic are you
Yes.
capable of? Are you capable of conjuring popcorn? Or are you
Here
capable
are
of
the
doing...
spells I have available to myself
Okay.
that you
I'm
may
going to start
use.
shouting these out one at a time to Averine so she can hear what this thing can do.
At will.
I speak
I can
primordial.
cast. Oh, so Averine can understand this if she gets close enough.
Oh, okay.
So at will, I can cast Detect Evil and Good, Detect Magic, and Stone Shape. 3 times per day, I can cast Pass Wall, Move Earth, and Tongues. Once per day each, I can cast Conjure Elemental, Earth Elementals only. The other ones are kind of flimsy.
Maybe
Gaseous
cast
form,
tongues, that would really help us. Like
Invisibility, Phantasmal Killer, Plane Shift, and Wall of Stone.
But she could use it on us.
Averine, did any of those sound helpful? Should we strike a deal or should we leave it be? I'm starting to think leave it be might be the better bet.
Aw, but it's so cute.
Well, maybe we could bring the bottle with us, and that way, if we ever have need of his services, we can strike a bargain at a later time.
That's fair. That's a good idea. And I'm not going to tell the Dao that, but I am going to grab the bottle and say, who wants to hold it?
I'm not
can.
a toy. Let me out of here.
We got to think about it, but we don't want to abandon you here, so we're going to bring you with us. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
So would those spells have been communicated to all of us in common?
Yeah, I was
Okay, we're taking an angry little person in a bottle who can plane shift people with us. We know what happened last time with plane shifting.
I would rather let her out right here and right now.
Okay.
No contract. That way, either we fight her and kill her, which I'm sure Captain Muscles over here will enjoy, or
It is not that I enjoy killing, it's that I enjoy doing something. We sit and we talk and we
Right.
talk over
We'd be
this
doing
useless
something. We're
creature
doing-
that only
exactly.
Pijo can talk to. So Pijo, do what you wish and let us be on our way.
Did you
Or
say there's another
she gets out.
door at the end of this corridor?
There is another door.
Yes,
Okay.
on the opposite
Well,
side.
I'm going to. Picho is going to, listening to Zola's argument, her point, say, all right, I am going to let you out with there's no deal. I'm just opening this. I'm not getting stuck in anything with you.
And ask him first what is through this door. Does he know?
One of my friends would like to know what's through the door. Your answer is not contingent upon whether or not I open this bottle. I don't think Peugeot would know to say that.
There's a room full of rainbows and sunshines, and please just let me out.
She said there's rainbows and sunshine. It sounds very shiny.
Insight check.
Well, I'm saying what I think is the truth.
Yeah,
But
well,
maybe
I
there
could-
is sunshine. Maybe it leads. Maybe
I might
it
not
leads-
understand the words, but I can watch his mannerisms when he says it.
All right, I'm going
It's
to.
clear this guy's just frustrated. Just
Yeah.
let me out.
Say, I'm sorry this was so frustrating for you. I'm gonna just crack this a little bit for you. You can sift on out now.
As the cork pops, the whole glass just shatters. The tiny little Dao immediately grows to fill the space, thus filling this space in front of you. It is a large creature.
Should we
Well-
back up a little bit? This is not any less cramped for you.
Feel better now. Right. So, you let me out, and there was no deal, right?
That's correct.
No, but we'd accept it as a kindness if you didn't do us any harm.
I'll offer you one use of my magic.
Well, thank you.
You can make use of any one of my spells.
You're very generous.
Okay.
Okay. What do we want to do?
We want to lift
Is he
that granite
talking in
stone.
common or is it still in Terran?
Still in Terran. Can't speak.
Never mind.
What the Tao offers for you is the Tao will follow you wherever you need to go, will not get involved in anything until you ask it to cast a spell that it can cast. At that point, that is the spell that you request, and it will disappear.
Okay.
Great.
Cool.
All right, we want to explore that room just on the other side. Would you mind shifting your huge form out of the way so we could get to that door?
A joke. Or are you speaking in Terran? Does she understand? Are you speaking in common?
Primordial, right?
Primordial.
Primordial. Okay. She understands. Go up. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
So, do you really know what's in that room? Is it really sunshine and rainbows?
Oh, no. There's a frog's tomb in there.
A frog's tomb, you say?
Ah.
Yeah. Or at least some sort of frog-like creature.
Well, I think that's where we'll be heading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
About that though, that brings to mind the line, "Only a jewel can tame the frog." So, Bijou,
Yes.
Bijou.
Hello.
just want to remind you that we have a full chest full of gems
Mm-hmm.
that's sitting in another plane somewhere.
And I have one right here.
If we had to,
You have a chest. Where is this chest?
These are my sparklies. They're not your business.
But you say there is a chest. I see no chest.
nor should you.
Is there any jewels inside the sarcophagus?
There was gold, but no jewels.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, Bijou, if we had to use your gem in order to get past this next trial, would you allow us?
Absolutely.
Promising to replace it. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
There might be something in there that is more obvious, but just wanted
Didn't we have a bunch of jewels from the wish spell? Or was
Those are
it-
in the chest. That's
Mhm.
what it is in the chest.
Yeah.
But Peter kept one to keep himself happy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's his little. It's like his stress ball.
Yeah. This is shiny.
Mhm.
Okay. Is the door locked or is it just a push?
From this side, it's a handle, twist, pull, and it's open.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Do you open the door?
check it for traps.
Okay. No traps,
Okay,
as best as you can see.
all right.
Give the door a twist, pull it out,
Slowly.
and it opens into a crypt. Couple things stand out to you. One, skeleton. As you've seen before, the perfect pure skeleton form looks at you, and instead of charging and attacking, it actually runs away from you, as far away and stays as far away from you as you can. What you also see is the air in here reeks of sulfur and brimstone. On the floor, with a sarcophagus in the center, you see a ring of salt and a salt pentagram.
Ooh, Averine. This is definitely...
Cautious Obalaka thinks the salt pentagram could use more salt and encourages her host to add to it.
I might have salt actually. Hang on.
That would be a good idea. We don't want to break that salt line. That is a very bad idea.
Well, my thought is anybody who's putting that there probably put it there for a reason. So I don't have any salt though. Sorry. I can take some salt from one part of the pentagram and move it to the other part.
No, that would be a very bad idea. See what I said about bad ideas. We don't want to do bad ideas. We want to do good ideas.
We need to move the salt feature.
Wait, but the Obalak is telling me we got to put more salt.
Why do we have to move the salt?
So you're telling me to move the salt, which was my idea, which I think was a good idea. Obalaka is telling me to put more salt there, which Obalaka is a god. So
What's
Obalaka
going
takes
on
this-
up there?
There's
In
like
the
some kind
center
of
of the
pentagram.
sarcophagus, the coffin does have figurines and images of prancing frog-like humanoids all over it.
Oh, Nang Nang.
Nang Nang.
This is Nang Nang's crypt.
That's not the frog we thought it was going to be.
No.
How do we
Who
feel
is
about
Nang
that?
Nang?
Nang Nang is also not a particularly great trickster god. He's kind of a. I don't want to insult him too badly. He was standing right in front of him like this.
Then let us leave
he's a
this
little weenie.
place. Let us
Yeah.
leave this place. There
oh.
is no benefit here.
That skeleton over there, I think it's a key.
Does that matter?
Yes, we need 5 keys.
How high up is it still only 10 feet up, or is it higher in this room or lower?
Inside this room, it is a 20-foot high ceiling.
So I can fly above the salt circle and try to get to the skeleton and bring its head back, or maybe something else. I don't know. Maybe we need a different part for this part of the key.
I have a question, and this is a dumb question that I've looked at and can't really find. So channel divinity, is that like use once a day? I've been looking into it, and my channel divinity powers say I can use it as a bonus action or an action, but doesn't specify like a limit.
Channel divinity does. So you have channel divinity, and then you have your channel divinity powers.
Right.
The section on channel divinity should state that you can use these and then refresh after a short rest, I believe.
And this is where I was a little confused.
I'm checking it right now.
It's a little different for cleric versus paladin, and there's just somewhere that says channel divinity as a baseline, and I can't.
It's
find
short or long rest.
Okay.
yeah.
There you go.
Because when you use your channel divinity, you choose which option to use. You must then finish a short or long rest to use your channel divinity again.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Can I check for
So-
traps around this threshold now that we've opened the door?
Okay. You don't see any traps.
Okay.
As best as you can see. The ground, other than the salt that seems to connect these pillars that goes from floor to ceiling, everything looks clear. You can, however, see a small opening that's just wide enough for a medium-sized humanoid to squeeze down into that seems to lead down ever so slightly. Or no, not down, because it wouldn't be down. It leads kind of angled towards the east.
Gotcha. Yeah, Piju, the skeleton from before was very easy to take out. So if you could interrupt his form without him running it into the salt, maybe that would
that's
be
smart. I think I have this. I think I have the ability to do that though, and I'm gonna take out my bow and arrow, and I am going to let fly at the skeleton dude.
With the 15 to hit, you do hit the skeleton. The skeleton shatters, leaving nothing but the skull on the floor. However, as the skull is attacked, a creature that was previously invisible reveals itself to be visible as it casts a fireball. And I'm assuming you guys
Counterspell.
can guess
Counterspell.
where it is going to be.
Counterspell.
Yeah, we don't
Well,
want
that comes
salt
into the
catching
question as to at what point would the invisibility become no longer visible? Would you see it until the... Does the invisibility break when the
Let me
spell
look at the wording of
begins
this
to
rule.
be
Hang on.
cast?
Well, did it become visible because the skeleton was attacked? Because that's what it sounded like.
It became visible because it cast a spell.
Oh.
So
Well-
I believe it isn't visible when it's casting the spell, doing its components.
I would say the components are a material portion of the spell itself. And so in order to cast the spell, you have to begin performing the material components. Because if, like, you can't do the material components, you can't cast the spell. So if you have to use the material components to cast the spell, you have to start casting the spell when you use the material components.
I
You would,
think
like,
it
if
matters
you-
how much
if you-
I argue as to where the fireball is actually being centered.
I think that's obvious where it's going to be centered. Right on top of you.
Yeah, wherever it'll hit all of you and not him. So, I'm not sure. And rather than hold this up, I will look at it later. But rather than hold it up, Averine or Pijo, either one of you, roll a persuasion check.
I'll
Persuasion?
try it,
Persuasion. This is you persuading me.
To persuade the DM.
Can't we just
Well,
have
what's
like
the
a
DC?
trial and I can like
Just do an
argue my
initiative.
point? I can pull some citations. I could look for
Just-
some Mike Merle's quotes.
Fireball hits
Just-
us.
Can you do
Oh, come on, come on,
just
go on,
do,
go
just
on.
do an initiative check to see if anybody pulls it off first.
Well, it's not
Okay.
beautiful.
If your persuasions are better than my roll, then I'll let you go with it.
What's your bonus?
12.
What if it's equal to? If the
Alright.
DC, you have to match the DC to beat it. You don't have to beat the
hit
DC
us
to
with
beat
it. Hit us with it.
Averine, you see this grey slard come into visibility as it's just dropping the bat guano necessary for the fireball spell, and you counterspell instantly.
Oh,
We're going to roll for initiative as you do successfully counterspell.
I love that GIF. It's just so good, and I
GIF.
will keep saying my soft G GIF because I know you made your little comment about it last time.
Right.
Fuck is this thing?
So is that for
fire.
the initiative roll says it's the Dow, not the Slod. So I'm not sure if you accidentally rolled initiative for the wrong creature.
Oh, yes, actually, I rolled the initiative for the Dow. I didn't roll initiative for the slot. Let me
That also
roll it again.
Unless their initiative's the same, in which case we can keep it at 4. that's
You
the
persuaded
big
me
match, right?
once, so I'll keep it as it is.
Oh, boy.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have everyone that is a combatant in here already. Zola, invisible as you are, this creature just suddenly became visible. What do you do?
I turn to Pichu and say, show it the shiny, see if it likes it. And then I'm going to run away. But I'm going to run away with intent. And then I'll get there. And then dash action all the way around. And I will pick up the skull.
Okay. You now have a skull. You flip it over. Look at it. A square in the back.
Great.
So you now have a triangle and a square.
It's
Tuck
a
that away.
Sonic controller.
Right. This is like kindergarten puzzles. Does this
Then-
go with this?
Gonna keep running and I'll get there.
Pijo.
All right. So I want to know if this would be appropriate for one turn. I want to show him the jewel, but also attack him. If like use it as a distraction. Because it's 2 hands to use my bow, so I don't know if I could really show the jewel and then.
You can either spend your turn trying to persuade it to take the jewel and leave you alone,
Mhm.
or you can spend your turn attacking it, your action attacking it. Which one would you choose to do?
Okay. I'm going to. Oh well, can I like drop the jewel on the ground and attack? Because I think a drop is that a bonus or a free? How does that?
You can drop items, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to just I'm going to cast lightning arrow at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to cast lightning arrow at it. So that's a new one, so I got to make sure I remember how it works exactly.
So, the next time you make a ranged weapon attack during the spell's duration, the weapon's ammunition or weapon itself, if it's thrown, transforms into a bolt of lightning. Make the attack roll as normal. The target takes 4d8 damage on a hit. Whether you hit or miss, each creature within 10 feet of the target must make a dex save against taking additional damage.
And actually, so since now I see that this is a bonus action spell, I'm going to get myself into this corner back here. I'm going to ready an action to shoot at it, which would then set off the spell if it moves or does another spell or attacks or anything from where it is. And then as a free action, then I'm just going to, I'm going to leave. Okay. I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize. Yeah.
Running out
Okay.
of time.
So before I moved, I will have used that free interaction or whatever to drop the gem on the ground.
Okay.
And then I will move to this corner, and I will ready the attack so that if it moves or if it does anything offensive, like attacks or casts a spell, I'll let loose one of my arrows.
Okay. Carmen or Tower, whoever wishes to go first.
So Carmen is going to do Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay. So he needs to make a wisdom saving throw. With which I did click it. Try it again. There we go. He rolled an 18. Does that succeed?
What am I comparing it against? My
Your spell save DC. It's on your character sheet. Yep. All right.
16.
So the 18, it manages to succeed. It seems to be naturally defended against spells and other effects.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else from you, Carmen?
I'm going to give some. Do I need to give inspiration out? Probably. I'm going to give some inspiration to Tower.
Okay. And Tower, what are you going to do?
All right, so I missed this. Did the jewel do anything? Is it not paying attention to the jewel? Or is it?
He just dropped the jewel.
Is he following the jewel, or kind of jewel, or is he kind of just like
The grey slard hasn't acted yet in response to it.
Okay, I suppose I've got no choice.
What do you mean you've got no choice?
I'm going to conjure octopus.
But you don't want to disturb the soul. Don't disturb the soul.
Could disturb the soul. I'm going to conjure them within. Oh well, no, I suppose that's a good point. I can't really put them in an incompatible place where it wouldn't disturb the soul. So, has anybody attacked it yet?
No one has attacked it yet.
I'm gonna see what the jewel does. I'm gonna hold a cantrip, produce flame. I'm gonna produce a flame, and I'm gonna hold the cantrip to launch it if it decides to attack.
Okay.
I might move out across here, but around the circle and just spread out after seeing that he tried to fireball us, and that's right.
So what is the actual trigger for you actually launching the spell?
If he makes an aggressive attack and doesn't go for the jewel, I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, Captain. Yep.
Everyone, Papazotl, I am unfamiliar with this land. Should I kill this guy or wait?
This creature is very base. Its instincts are extremely limited. I have an instinct to think it's not even going to be smart enough to have noticed the thing be dropped as it being presented to him. You might need to actually present the jewel to it.
I will then walk in, being careful not to. Let's see what's my movement. Being careful not to. 15. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I pick it up there?
Yep.
Pick it up, step over, and just hand out. Here is your freaking jewel. Take it.
Roll a persuasion check. Okay. It holds out its hand to accept the jewel.
I put it in his hand. without stepping on the salt. I stay far enough away that this is not going to disturb the rune in the ground.
It takes the jewel and starts just stroking the shiny finish.
Pijo starts like whimpering just a little bit, seeing this beautiful sparkly being manhandled, frog-handled, slot.
Then the Grace Lad on his turn just seems to shimmer and fade from view as it disappears.
Now,
With
question.
the jewel in hand,
Ugh.
it disappears. The jewel is gone, Pijo. Jewel is gone.
Don't
And
worry,
so I
Peter.
now have an arch nemesis. Never have I known to hate like I have for this slod.
All right. So now you all find yourselves stood around a pentagram of salt around Nang Nang's tomb.
Well, we don't want him with us, but we might want his stuff. So what if we had someone examine it and excavate it that already has a god in them that they don't want in them presently? That way they can get replaced later potentially.
You are welcome to spearhead that project.
No, me and
meantime,
Moa are tight. Okay, we're not separating from each other ever again.
all the more motivation for you not to be separated by this Nang Nang fellow.
I have been giving it some consideration, and it's possible that via a spell I might be able to force an unwanted spirit out of a host. I don't know for sure.
What's the spell typically supposed to do?
Well, there are one of two spells. One just dispels magic, depending on the complexity of the magics upon the thing I'm trying to dispel, and the other is a curse removal, which is can be used to break attunement to a cursed object.
Moa, do you think either of those had the possibility of working? Do you think we'd have to test it?
Neither of them would work, I'm afraid. If you want to force a spirit out of your body, you need to be capable of casting the protection from evil and good spell.
Moa says it's the protection from evil and good spell that works.
I believe, if I remember rightly,
With
protection
some time
from
and
good specifically states that if a person is possessed at the time, it kicks out the spirit.
Frightened or possessed by such... If a target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throws against the relevant effects.
It's a first level cleric spell, which Averine would be able to cast after a rest.
It is a first level paladin spell as well.
I just love the way you talk.
The way you talk all sounds like boulders falling down a hill. It is very dissonant in the ear.
Or rather, I should say, dispel evil and good. That would be...
Dispel
Yeah.
evil and good. He means dispel evil and good.
Not protection from evil and good, dispel. That's the one I was thinking of. Which is a cleric and paladin spell of 5th level.
Protection from evil and good allows you to, it gives you advantage on
Gives you advantage on saves, but there's no additional... Like, the only save you guys would be making is for the initial possession.
Is there a paladin ability that lets you roll saves, or is that not for the class that or the path?
I have something that if you're close to me, you get +2 on all saving throws.
Okay, I'm probably thinking of a different class feature from maybe even a different class,
So,
or I'm mixing up like Pathfinder or something.
are you guys going to explore to see what Nang Nang might have within his shrine, or not?
The captain does not care about Nang Nang, and everyone here stands and talks so much. It is just too much, so he will be forcing his way through this little space to see what is below.
If no one else is going to, I will.
Okay.
So you push the lid off and it shifts. It's not too difficult to do. So you shift it off, and inside the sarcophagus, you can see a bright red potion that looks like a potion of supreme healing, a petrified grung egg, and a very shiny, very sparkly pearl of power.
That's what I'm talking about.
I will grab the potion of supreme healing.
Okay.
And I will look at the egg inquisitively. But I will grab the pearl of power as well.
Okay. When you say grab the pearl of power as well, do you mean you are also grabbing the egg?
I'm looking at the egg. It was unexpected. It's not a treasure, and it's not a remains. I don't know.
Yep. Oh, fair enough. You grab the pearl of power. It looks like a pearl of power. It feels like a pearl of power, but the arcane energy within it feels a little bit more potent. As it does so, a croaking voice sounds out in your mind. Nang Nang will help you now. Nang Nang will. Yes. Will you accept Nang Nang's presence? Or does he need to try to force himself upon you?
Well, since no one has successfully resisted, I'll give it a shot and to try to resist.
Roll a charisma saving throw.
To see what happens. In the spirit of experimentation. I will use luck and re-roll it.
Nang Nang will be persistent.
So 11 is what I have.
Okay. Nang Nang will help you now. Yes, yes. Nang Nang is very helpful. Yes, yes. So you are now possessed by Nang Nang the Grung. Is selfish and cruel. While inhabited by Nang Nang, you gain the following flaw, which overrides any opposing flaw. I won't share with others. Power. While inhabited by Nang Nang, you can move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down along walls, along ceilings, while leaving your hands free. You also gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. You also come to an understanding that the Pearl of Power you have in front of you is more potent than your average Pearl of Power. Okay. Pearl of Power normally allows you to speak its command word to regain one expended spell slot up to 3rd level. Right? The improved Pearl of Power grants the person attuned to it resistance to poison damage, and you can actually restore either up to 2 3rd level spells or 1 up to 6th level. Okay? Again, can't be used again until next dawn. So, you now have Nang Nang, Obolakia, Moa, and Papa Zotl.
This is
Terrible.
quite the menagerie we have here.
It's quite a crew.
So I do want. Can I investigate that egg? Is there anything noteworthy about it? I mean, is it a? I don't know. What is it?
So roll an investigation check.
24.
It looks like a petrified egg. So it looks like it's an egg that's aged so long that it's turned to stone. But as you pick it up and start rubbing it off, what you actually find is it's not turned to stone. It's made out of pure platinum. This one egg seems to be a solid egg-shaped piece of platinum that weighs maybe 30 pounds.
Exactly how sparkly is this egg made of platinum?
Super sparkly.
I think you can't.
Rini, can I Can I just
Don't
hold
you
it?
look at this. This is mine.
But I want to hold it.
Don't you even think about holding it.
I already did.
Get it out of your brain. It's mine.
I'll try.
Oh my goodness.
It's not working. I'm thinking more about it. I want it even more now.
So,
Oh.
what would you guys like to do?
I go through the whole rigmarole again. Hi, I have Moa. This is Opalaka. This is Papa
I am
Zano.
already pushing my way through the spare little hole.
Like you were split personality too.
I'm just testing how much a platinum piece weighs.
I was also trying to find that. I found the atomic mass. Because I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to convert that to how much is 1 pound of platinum?
100 platinum pieces weighs 2 pounds. So 30 pounds is 15 times that much. So you have, by the looks of it, 1,500 platinum, roughly, worth of.
1,000 gold.
But we have all the jewels anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's.
We're not
it's
exactly like we don't need the money.
It's a nice return investment for the, well, those jewels are worth 50 each, but yeah.
So now that you have that stuff, Captain, you said you were going to try and squeeze down the hole.
Well, you said that it was a squeezable size, right?
Mhm.
That's the size.
Yep.
So I'm not recklessly throwing myself in there. I want to take a look. If it looks good as far as I can see, squeeze in a little bit, trying to examine what's down the hole. If it's not conveniently squeezable for a guy in full plate armor with a tower shield, I would not try to put myself down there.
That would help.
Yeah.
push it.
Yeah, definitely can't take your shield in there with you.
No, we won't go in, but we'll peek at the hole.
Swear you see that further down, wine has been pooling at the other end of this little tunnel.
Well,
While everyone's looking over there, I'm using my little chest to summon my big chest and putting the egg in it and then closing the chest and then putting it back in the
Wait,
ethereal
can I-
plane.
Wait, before you put it back, I promise, Piju. I try to grab him something else to hold on to.
No, it's mine.
Actually, it's all of ours. Actually, if you want to really talk about it, they're mine. I'm the one that summoned them.
It's in
In
my
the heart.
chest.
Hey, what's
Rini.
that over there? And I'm going to try to very quickly.
You're being real
Grab
mean,
one.
Rini. Don't like it. You got to check yourself.
You have that bag of shinies that you've recovered from when we were in Omu.
Oh, it's all in there now.
No,
Is
no,
that-
you have your own.
Is that usual behaviour? Can we determine that this is done?
Oh, of course, this is not Averine's usual behavior. This is an effect of the possession.
Zola, is Nang Nang a jerk?
Yeah.
I've
And is
already
that other
have
one a
told
jerk too?
Jules that this stuff is ours, and he cannot have it. You are just transporting it. And if he wishes to be part of this, otherwise we will find another god to replace him.
Yeah. Averine is mine.
Can I actually, I wanted to try the, hey, look over there and try to swipe one using stealth or sleight of hand.
So, deception. Your deception.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
can I
test it
actually
with
do
his
that?
yelling at Averine about how mean she's being to help distract her to maybe give advantage on this.
Can I actually do any perception rolls being Moa? Is this a way around that?
You must always speak the truth. So, what are you having him look at?
Nothing. I just pointed. Probably towards everybody else.
That seems like a bit pushing it. If you were actually pointing towards something that is there,
This
saying,
tower.
hey, you should look at them, then that might work. But unfortunately, you are trying to deceive him.
Okay. All right. I'll just
So
be
you
like,
can't. No.
but
Bad girl.
okay.
He may be troublesome, but You'll be able to get your stuff by the end of it.
Isn't breaking a promise also something of a lie?
So the chest is gone.
It's not a lie if when you made the promise, you intended to keep it.
I did. Because I didn't think we'd have any problems. But it's gone now, Mr.
Yes.
Chance.
So, where would you guys like to go? You now have the second of 5 necessary keys. There are so many more secret doors you could go down. There's a big black hole in the middle of a demon face, or there's a staircase leading down to the 3rd level. What would you like to do?
I can
After
send
all this
Alawando.
time, please.
Oh, after you.
After all this time, it seems like we ought to go down the corridor that was previously discovered by P-Gel.
We could do
It
that.
is clear we have hit no obstacles there yet. We can go until we find some sort of obstacle or thing.
Well, I would feel a lot more comfortable going down there if I had my sparkly. And I'm just glaring at Averane.
You have a genie in the other room. If you wish them to give you a sparkly and go their merry way, they can.
That's
very
selfish
well.
and
Let us
wasteful.
carry
I'm
on.
not going to do it.
Then you clearly do not need a shiny that badly, do you, Birdman?
I'm ignoring now.
Joe, you can have my sparkly when we get out of here.
No, that's yours. That's not mine.
What about?
So we could go down that staircase to the next level, or we could go back to the granite block and see if Shigambi or Kubazan lies beyond, and get our new friend here to help us out with that granite.
Do we think that perhaps the ring one is the correct one, and that one is the tap room? Perhaps we could try to set up a trap in the other location. The plaque did say the ring leads to another tomb, but does this mean it literally leads to another tomb or another the correct sarcophagus?
Aaron?
Yeah.
When you and I had talked a little bit before, we had talked about my character doing some things over and over again. Is that still true, or did that not happen?
Yeah, it's still true to an effect. You understand that the alternate tomb is exactly what Stephen said earlier. It is a testing place, because every time you attempted something, the trap, once you had finished it, would reset and shift a little bit. The other tomb of which they speak, you can feel confident, doesn't mean another tomb, because when you guys looked up on the other floors, you didn't see any of the sarcophagi in the rooms that you knew had the gods in them. Moa, Papazotl, Obolaka, and Nang Nang will all confirm that this much they do know. The shrines, the sarcophagi that we rest within, must have some form of iconography on its person or around it that represents our selves. Papazotl, it was on the chariot that bore him. Everyone else, it was on the shrines. The one of which you saw previously had no iconography. So the gods feel confident one of their sibling does not rest inside of it.
And honestly,
Okay.
if that was the test tomb and in that sarcophagus was also there, chances are that's probably a trap or some way connected to the dangers, not the goods.
All the more reason to carry on.
So why aren't we going through this small crawl space?
I was able to look down it and simply saw some liquid on the floor. I could not go down there. If you wish to go, off you go.
Can I send Alawando down there?
You can.
So I'll
He'll
shift the
go-
senses.
He'll go in. he has to go actually under the wine as the wine ends up filling up. The little tunnel shifts in elevation just slightly to allow everything to kind of pool up. He has to go under the wine in order to keep swimming through. But he can see light ahead that does seem to suggest it pops out into the other space. As you use his senses to look, does he keep going?
I will tell him, hold your breath and keep going through.
Okay. As he goes through, he will notice that there is a vat of wine that seems to be feeding into this little tunnel that leads forward. As he looks towards the daylight, a invisible creature kills Aluendo.
No. I guess we have to wait till the morning and then do it again. New Aluando.
How did he do it? Did I not see it happen?
Not from an invisible creature. Not me. Yeah.
Now,
You don't see the creature. It was under the water. It was indistinguishable from any other of the wine.
now,
He just felt like he was being crushed for a moment, and then the life was crushed out of him.
has anybody seen Hollow Man? Because when you're in water, you'd have an obvious dispersion of the surface. No, it wouldn't just blend in. You'd have that.
This creature specifically does blend in with all of the liquid around it.
It's a wine elemental.
It is a wine elemental.
Okay.
So
Did
I guess
Aluando get a look
Yeah.
of the room?
He could see that the room with the sarcophagus that the block had come down on was beyond this little pathway. He could see that there was a large space where the wine was feeding into it, but he couldn't see anything else.
Okay, so he couldn't see any of the shapes or the patterns on the sarcophagus to know whose it was.
Definitely wasn't any.
Okay.
You guys know that at least. Okay.
so my senses will abruptly return. Something's happened to Aluando.
Is he?
Well, is he okay?
Yeah, is he all right?
I don't have a connection with him at the moment.
Okay. What if something's happened? Can we get him back?
He is a spiritual entity, and I can resummon him tomorrow, perhaps.
Okay. Well, okay. What do you want to do? Should we go in there or should we leave this?
Well, whatever did him in did so very stealthily, so I'll not go in such close quarters.
Okay. Well, maybe let's try the other staircase then.
Aye.
Yeah, and hopefully he'll catch up if he's all right.
So you have staircase that's the main staircase that leads down to level 3. You have a spiral staircase that leads somewhere, you don't know where. Or the 2 doors that lead out of this pathway.
Well, the plaque said into darkness descend, and the spiral staircase is in darkness because there's only that one light in there.
That's referencing.
No?
That might be referencing that guy because that was another
No.
dark sphere, and we threw somebody down that mouth, didn't we? Didn't Aluando go down that mouth, or not?
No, I didn't.
No.
What? I
Did
don't
we
remember
not?
actually.
Did we drop something in there?
No,
Okay.
we didn't do anything with it. I was the closest one to it, and I didn't enter the room.
Because she could hear screams coming from outside
And
the
I
mouth.
noped right back out.
Hmm.
All right.
So
Are we walking in here?
Yeah.
Can we? This has the funky skull gone out again since we left?
it did as you moved away, but as you move back, the first one lights up again. Ready and waiting to light the path ahead for you.
Oh, Balaka, do you know if this could be one of your god friends helping with the lights?
tomb was built to house us after we had been killed. Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Check for chaps and coffee in the corridor.
Yep, roll a perception check.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna turn to Carmen and invisibly shove something in her hands. And once she takes it and I back up, it's the skull that I just got with the square.
Oh, thanks. Oh, he's
Yeah.
wanting one of these.
Oh, really?
No.
So with your
Okay.
24 tower, you don't see any traps ahead of you. However, you can hear what sounds like the scurrying of and tapping of tiny little feet
Whereabouts do I hear that? Is that down?
coming from straight across the hall, behind the door, ahead of you.
Being a very nature-based type of guy, would I gather that as little mouse, or is it little kind of insecty kind of noises, or is it?
Pixies.
Actually, you know what? It sounds almost like someone tapping their fingers on a table, like tapping like that. But it sounds like close to 30 of those.
Peter, do you hear this across the way? I'm slowly now.
Let me roll. If I can get to the right page.
Zola, what about you? There is a noise. Can you hear it?
Anyone that really passes in past Tower's current position with your passives would be able to hear it.
Yeah, that's unnerving.
Yeah, I don't like it. Obalaka, what do you think? Sounds bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, be careful.
Maybe.
Get a glimpse of it before you actually run in there and get killed.
I have an idea.
Can
What if I stand on the ceiling and open the door after examining it and doing all this stuff? And then one of you arcanists with some kind of blasty power stand at the ready. And if it's not a good thing, blast it.
Sounds good.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
if that is the case, the magic blasty person ought to stand behind me. I can sit in the hallway and provide a barricade.
Sure.
I am the only barricade.
I do not know what that means because I have never seen you turn into a bear.
Not yet.
So Peugeot laughs at that because he thinks funny.
So, perception check or investigation checks on the door itself.
30. Boom.
Boom. You clearly see that this door, while it has a lock on it, is not locked. It is a large door. When I say it has a lock on it, it has a keyhole that should connect to a locking mechanism, but it's not been locked. There are sounds coming from behind, and not just the door tapping. You can hear someone muttering to himself under his breath in common. It's literally just muttering, so it doesn't really make much sense. But there is a person speaking in common beyond this door. No traps. Unlocked.
Okay, first of all, door's not locked, but it has a lock. Second of all, someone's talking in there in common. So heads up on that. Are we ready for me to open the door?
Is he talking to himself?
Sounds like it.
Okay. Oh,
Can't really
what's the
make out.
plan? Do we need to open the door? We might not have to fight this. We
Right.
might have to fight the guy.
But just in case we do.
Yeah. But I just think if we open a door, we don't want to attack
Well,
something.
that said, I'm still taking the dodge action to get ready for something coming at me.
Okay. Who opens the door?
I do. From
I'm
above.
readying an attack in case somebody is aggressive. And not if just there's somebody there.
You push open the door. The little tapping is clearly understood as you see the room has inside of it a whole bunch of tiny crawling claws, severed hands that are moving around the room, tapping their way all around. Sat at a table a little bit shocked by all of you, appears to be a shriveled corpse of a man wearing moldy robes, bronze mask, sculpted to look like a frowning visage. I have an image to show so that you know what I mean. In the back of the room, in a bird cage, you can see a skeletal songbird trying to whistle, but it can't. Just kind of blowing air out of its mouth.
So sad.
Yep. Withers. Here we go. Around the corpse's neck, you can see he has a certain black skull-shaped amulet.
Ooh.
As he turns, like you open the door, he turns around. Who dares to disturb me?
Hello. We don't mean to disturb you. We just
I
help
have
people.
work to do. Leave me alone.
Is there anything we can help you with?
I must finish my chronicling of the tomb. Can you tell me more about the tomb?
Sure. Is there something that you don't know yet that we might be able to answer a question for?
What have you changed?
We haven't changed anything, but we have maybe some people here who might give you some extra answers. You know, as in pretty powerful people that might have some answers that you may not have had about a particular god. You need to know about any of the particular gods.
I don't care about the gods.
Oh, really? Why is that?
All I care about making sure is my description of the tomb is accurate and complete. What have you changed?
Like I say, we haven't changed anything. We're just on our way through and trying to help people. And yeah, we're not trying to disturb you.
Good, good. That makes this easier then. I don't have to go back and change my notes. Okay. Now hold still while I kill you.
Hold on.
No. Close the door. Let's close the door, Zola. Close the door, Zola. Close the door.
Tower starts scratching into the wall and going, I am now graffitiing the wall.
There's a change. You need to write that down. You can't fight.
I will chronicle it when I'm done with you. Little too late, unfortunately,
we made a change to the other room. She forgot.
You didn't tell him. All right.
I was
Roll
trying
for
to be
initiative
nice
again,
and not
folks.
kick off a fight.
We broke the crystal many times. I can go and count the fragments.
Oh dear.
Ooh, critical initiative.
Hooray!
Hey. You did good.
I got the opposite.
Oh, this is taking its time. All I want to do is open a character sheet for a crawling claw. All right. Come on. There we go. All right. Rolling for initiative for those. That's a 5. Okay, anyone missing from the turn order? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And you do have your Dow with you who will not get involved until you ask her to do so. So, Bijo, top of the round, as this Withers fellow wishes to kill you and get back to work, what are you going to do?
I am not happy about that. I have a question. I presume it's been more than a minute since I cast Lightning Arrow earlier.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast it again as my bonus action. And I am going to fire at Withers with my arrow.
Okay, you got to make a hit first.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like a hit. 13.
Unfortunately, a 13 will miss.
Well, they still, whether you hit or miss, each creature within 10 feet of the target must make a dexterity throw. So they're still, and he still takes half damage, 48. So divided by 2. So let me roll that. Sorry. Well, that 22 definitely beats my save. But it's everybody within 10 feet. So that hits
and
all
I'm
of
rolling
the
for the claws as well. Yep.
And so he
I'll
takes
just
half.
roll 1 for all of them.
Yeah.
17 for all of them.
That saves. So they take half. So Withers takes half of that 48, and then they all take half of another 2d8.
Yeah. Crawling claws have 2 hit points. So there goes all of his pet claws.
Right.
And his bird. You killed my bird!
Well, maybe you should have been nicer to us, and I'm going to use my extra attack on him to do one more thing. But I'm going to use a poison arrow on this one.
Nice shot, Piju.
Thank you, Rainey. That 16 hit?
16 will hit.
All right, and I was using a poison arrow. Do I roll for him? He doesn't necessarily seem like he's normal.
He is immune to poison.
Okay, but he does get Claws to Slayer still.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay. He looks heavily injured, heavily wounded.
Yeah,
Hold on.
take that, jerk.
Hey, I was nice to you.
You were not nice. You said you were going to kill us. That is the opposite of a nice thing to do.
Anything else, Peter?
No, I'm going to stay where I am now.
Zola?
I'm gonna do like a sneaky drive-by maneuver.
Zola, try to subdue him. He's chronicling the tomb. He knows everything about it.
Okay, I'll try. All right, so we'll still be on the ceiling here, and then I'll drop down, dagger and cutlass out.
Okay.
28 to hit.
That'll
And
hit.
is there a way that I can do sneak attack without lethality? Can I use like the butt of my weapon? Does that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
He drops to 0 hit points. He is an undead creature. I don't see any reason why the undead wouldn't be able to be knocked unconscious. So he is now unconscious.
Awesome. I'm gonna take that skull from off his chest.
You're going to tear the skull off his chest? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm going to fly in and tie him up with, well, maybe somebody else is better at tying up, but I have rope to offer to whoever has maybe better strength to tighten a knot, to tie him up.
I can probably do that.
The amulet, well, you'll need to identify it, won't you? Never mind. Okay. So, once you've tied him up, he won't gain consciousness unless you guys help him to do so within an hour to do. You have his room if you wish to explore it. What would you like to do?
I'm going to give Zola a high five,
Hey,
because that was pretty good. We did it.
thank you.
Of
Let
course.
us investigate the room, and then I could use some time to sit and recuperate. It has been several hours. Plus, I have this fancy little chain to look at.
I'd like to, I mean, if he was writing something in a book, I'd like to take a look at that book.
Okay. So his notes are in a really bad kind of scroll, really difficult to be able to read everything that's in there, and the pages are really old and moldy, but simply looking through it, one entry stands out above all others. The master returns with a marvelous gift, a cast-off creation of the gods, dead and yet not. The all-seeing is blind to its existence, and the mother of illusions looks past it. Sweet irony. The master hopes to raise the creature to power by glutting it on souls. The master has brought the Soon sisters here to nurse it, and to help build the device needed to feed it. As for me, I am only saddened that my studies shall one day come to an end. I owe the master much for the time he has given me. I can only work harder in the little time that remains for this world. His book contains a complete chronicling of the history of Omu, the creation of the Tomb of the Nine Gods, and a description and a name of the creature that the Soulmonger is feeding. It also includes a picture. I am going to quickly find us the creature. Bear with me 1 second
Dun, dun, dun.
while it loads up.
This fella kept excellent notes. Perhaps we didn't need to keep him alive. Everything's in his book.
Mhm.
You could just bonk him once then, right? And that's all it takes.
You got it.
The creature at the base of the tomb is an atropal.
That is ugly.
Yep.
Gross.
It speaks intently about how the umbilical cords to this fetal deity are connected to the Soulmonger and feed it the souls of all those subject to it. It explains more and more, and I could give you all more information, and I will give you more information later, as we will end today's session here at the discovery of the creature that is at the base of the tomb. Thank you very much, folks, for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's session, and I hope you all welcome Captain.
Can you say his name? Do you know it?
Trying to remember it now.
Captain
Vladislav?
Vladislav Umokina.
Yeah,
Can
Okay,
call
so-
me Laszlo.
Laszlo. So, welcome to Laszlo for joining our group. If you would like to follow along with all of our stuff, go ahead and click the follow button. Click subscribe if you, especially if you happen to have Twitch Prime. It's free and it helps support us. Follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. You can read along to some of our out of game but in character roleplay chat during the week by checking out our Tumblr. That is crituitousrp.tumblr.com. And you can help support us by going and visiting our Patreon page. That is patreon.com/Teevent. We appreciate every bit of support that you guys give, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Good night.